All right, kids, here we are. Here we go. It's a Friday. Believe it or not, we got through the week. It is May 8th, 2026, in the year of our Lord, and we appreciate you being a part of the show today. It's the Matt Murphy Radio Show. Conveniently enough, my name is Matt Murphy, and I'm going to try to be a little softer, a little low-key, a little subdued today because I want to read the room. And in the room, I see a lot of folks that, that I don't normally get to see because we've got our zone cohorts over here. 104.5 The Zone is with us. We're in Murphreesboro today at Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply, just off the main drag in Murphreesboro. Can't miss us if you're coming into Murphreesboro from Nashville, Tennessee, and we invite you to come and see us and say hello. And folks are already coming in to say hello. A lot of zero turns, a lot of Ferris Days action going on, and we're going to talk with Trey and his team about that throughout the course of the afternoon. Give me a little, turn me down. You just turned me up. Now you need to turn my overall. Yeah, there you go, Kirby. Appreciate you there. Curb's on site. Joseph's on site. The whole gang's here. Well, minus Jackson Williams, who's decided to desert us today in favor of a bachelor party or bachelorette. Can't really figure out which in Gulf Shores, Alabama. But Ken Weaver's here. He's back in News Closet B. Seems a little odd that Ken's there and I'm here because – you know, this is Ken's stomping ground, not my stomping ground, but there he is in News Closet B gathering headlines for a living and delivering them twice an hour and when it breaks. What's up, Brother Weaver?
How about you boys?
You doing all right?
I'm doing all right.
I'm in my neck of your neck of the woods there, Ken.
You are, man.
I know. You know what? The wife asked me earlier. She said, "Is Ken Weaver going to be there with you? Because we should go eat with Ken Weaver, if so." And I said, "No, Ken's back at home base, and I'm here. It's very awkward. It's very odd." But
it's backward.
It is. It's backwards. But I thought that you might have some wonderful suggestions about stomping grounds in Murphreesboro. You've been all around.
I've been all around Murphreesboro. Yes, sir.
Oh, man. Well, listen, we're happy to be here. We're proud to be in Murphreesboro, Tennessee, and you can come out and see us if you've always wanted to watch the sausage made behind the scenes at a radio show. Now's the time to do it at Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. It's also the time to grab yourself a mower or any of the accoutrements, to use the French parlance, a little accoutrement that goes with all of your lawn care needs. They got it, brother, at Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply, and they invite you to see them. Hey, Ken.
Yes, sir.
We're going to see that trophy again today, I think.
It's about time.
It is about time. I'm bringing it back home for the team, boys. I'm proud to note that Murphy won yesterday, and this just goes right into Jackson Williams' conspiracy theory, Ken. The theory is now, I don't know if you've heard the latest conspiracy theory on nincompoops in the news. And, Ken, you might be in on it. You might decide you're in on the conspiracy theory, too. But the theory,
I just do the news, boys.
The theory is as follows: that, and I'm not confirming nor denying. I'm just reporting. So the theory is Murphy had not won nincompoops in 2026. That is a fact, right? I had not taken the trophy home in the entire calendar year of 2026 thus far. You and Jackson Williams were sweeping every week. Well, the theory goes that I convinced Hand to win it so that he can then hand it off to me in Murphreesboro, his home city, in the aftermath of that victory. That's the conspiracy. I confirm nor deny any truth to said conspiracy. Are we about to have video up?
That's on the same day they released those UFO files, too, Brother Murphy. Yeah.
Hey, what have we learned from the UFO files? I've been out of pocket, Ken. Anything good?
Haven't learned a thing, dude. It's just stuff that nobody can explain. I mean, some of it's pretty spectacular to look at, but just don't know what it is.
You know, some things are unidentified, and,
Yes, sir.
and sometimes they're flying. And
Yes,
most of the times they're objects, which is why we called them UFOs to begin with.
Yes.
What's that new term? Do you know it off the top of your head?
Unexplained phenomena, something like that?
Like
UAP, something like that. UEP or something. Unexplained phenomena, I believe, is what it is.
Someone on SuperText
They'll know.
Float it. Yeah, they'll know. They're the smartest listeners are on SuperText. The smartest viewers are on the YouTube chat. And both of those are crazy places. And you're invited to be a part of both of those. Let me run down the ways that you can watch or listen to the radio show, and we'll get things lumbering under our own weight. Obviously, 99.7 FM from Kentucky to Alabama and all points in between. You can join us on Spotify. You can join us on TuneIn. You can join us on iHeart. Really, any place that you can download music, news, or information, you can download this radio station. Just type in Supertalk 99.7 WTN. You can also download our own app. We've got an app, and we invite you to download it and take us wherever you'd like to go. You can do that on your smartphone or on your laptop. And then, of course, there's Talk TV. We're just getting Talk TV up and running. We're a little bit behind on that. Episode 1033 up and running on Talk TV, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Rumble. We invite you to be a part of us there. It is episode 1033 of our visits together, and it's day 473 of Donald Trump's second term as president of the United States of America. We deliver those. We deliver those last numbers almost on a daily basis just to drive the liberals crazy. But man, I don't need to drive liberals crazy today. It's been y'all. Here's my takeaway from the week. We are hot and heavy on this radio show in the political world. We talk a lot about, it's the ultimate team sport, Republicans versus Democrats versus Libertarians, whose side you on, who you got, who you voting for, and all these types of things. But at the end of the day and at the end of the week, on this First Amendment Freestyle Friday, we're all human beings. We're all God's children. And here's what I ask you to do. Because your friendly neighborhood Democrat, they've had a bad week, guys. The liberals in this state, and believe it or not, there are a few of them, they've had a rough time of it in this week. And across the country, liberals have had a rough day. I mean, not only did we redistrict yesterday in the state of Tennessee, creating what we believe will be a 9-0 majority in the halls of the Congress of the United States of America when all is said and done. They had a pretty rough day up in Virginia, did the liberals. And so here's what you need to do. Just in the spirit of kindness and love of your fellow man, just find a liberal over the weekend at your local watering hole and get them, I don't know what they're drinking nowadays, get them a spritzer or a seltzer or, some other sort of beverage. Maybe, one of those nice fruity things with a little umbrella in the side of it. Whatever they need to get through the weekend, I think now's the time to show a little grace and buy them one of those nice little spritzers. Maybe one of those Dangrias would go well with your liberal friends that Dan likes so much, just to tell them how much you love them, because it's been a tough time for those guys. In all seriousness, folks, you got to follow the rules. You don't get to make up the rules as you go. And sadly, our friends in the Democrat Party have decided that they no longer care about equality. And that's where I want to start with the monologue today. We, for a long time in the United States of America, did not live up to the Declaration of Independence. And I don't need to go over that. That ground has been so tilled and that ground has been so discussed. I don't need to talk about it, but I think we start from there. That for a long time we did not live up to the concept that all men are created equal and ought to, as derived by their creator, have certain unalienable rights, and among those are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We didn't live up to that fully. And in an effort to repair some of that, our Congresses, duly elected by the people of this country, passed laws that would go far enough to make reparations, dare I use the word, that would attempt to make it right and bring everyone up to equal footing. Now, this never has, nor was it designed to guarantee outcomes. It was all about giving people equal opportunity in a variety of, in a variety of aspects of your life. It's not just about politics, but it's also about business opportunities. It's about your personal growth in our civilized society that we call these United States of America. Well, the political left has foregone this concept of equality and jumped straight into the idea of equity. We talked a lot about this during the DEI time, the diversity, equity, and inclusion. Equity is a very, very different thing because equality guarantees opportunity. Equality ensures that people will not be denied opportunity in the United States of America based on conditions of which they have no control, such as conditions of their birth, race, ethnicity, color, sex, etc. But now our liberal friends, as demonstrated this week in the halls of the Tennessee General Assembly, they don't care about equality. They care about equity. In other words, they care about outcome. They want what they think is owed to them, regardless of what the rules are, regardless of who votes on said rules, regardless of what the process is, and regardless of what the people of the state of Tennessee have asked for. Whether they like it or not, the Tennessee Democrats are in the super minority in the House and the super minority in the Senate. And with that comes certain challenges. One would think that they would want to play a little nicer with the Republicans. You give a little to get a lot, but that's not the way that they're playing the game. They're playing the game like children. They're stomping their feet, and they're angry, and they're pitching hissy fit. Justin Pearson pitched a hissy fit yesterday and should have been arrested. And kudos to the police officer that chose that discretion was the better part of valor in that moment and chose not to, because that's exactly what Pearson wanted. Justin Jones threw a hissy fit yesterday. Charlene Oliver over in the Senate threw a hissy fit yesterday. These are children, and they're acting like children because they can't get their way. What do they want? They want something handed to them. And as I said to you yesterday before the final vote happened, if you take any message away from this, Democrats, if I'm to offer you sincere advice as to the manner in which you ought to be reacting, you ought to be on the ground and working your ass off to demonstrate to the people of this state that you have better ideas than the Republicans do. You ought to be in the newly drawn District 9 and the newly drawn District 5 and the newly drawn District 8. You ought to be in the newly drawn District 6 and 7 and the newly drawn District 4 and presenting yourself before the voters and explaining to them how your ideas are going to better and benefit their lives more so than the Republican Party. Instead, you're screaming about outcomes. You're screaming about the fact that you don't have the ability to change said outcomes. And you're just stomping your feet and acting as if someone's going to come along and save you from this dastardly democracy that you claim to love. You don't apparently love it very much. Let me be as clear as I possibly can. This is what democracy looks like. And you chant that until such time as you don't get your way, and then you start setting things on fire. How adult is that? So I'm not angry at any of these people. I'm ashamed for them. Had they any shame, they would be ashamed for themselves. I think they're foolish. I think they're funny. And I think they should be treated as such. The adults are in the room, and the rules are what they are, and the rules have been used to benefit the Republicans against the betterment of the Democrats, which is exactly the way that partisan politics works. And the Democrats are doing the same thing and have been doing the same thing for years and generations in Democrat-led states. They just don't like the Republicans have decided finally, after years, dare I say decades, the Republicans have finally decided that they're going to engage on these levels as well. They're not going to play the better people. They're not going to take the high road. They're going to go ahead and get down there where the goats can graze on it, and they're going to figure out how to better their political party and, by extension, their own state. Now, I tell you to support your local Democrat by offering them a beverage and pat them on the back and tell them it's going to be okay, largely because of what happened in Virginia earlier today. Not necessarily Tennessee yesterday, although that was a big swing and a hit by Republicans. And, oh, by the way, that's just the beginning. South Carolina's working on it. Georgia's working on it. Alabama's working on it. A lot of other states have decided, look, if we are going to be allowed to play in the arena that Democrats have played in for so long when it comes to, quote-unquote, gerrymandering, then let's go. Let's make it happen because we believe that America is better if America has a majority Republican Party in the House of Representatives. And so you're going to see a lot of that. Now, in Virginia, the situation was decidedly different in that the Virginia Democrats decided that they didn't want to play by the rules as clearly laid out by their Constitution. We're going to talk about that in a moment. We will speak with Senator Brent Taylor at 3:35 this afternoon. Let me just signpost some of the guests that we have coming up. 3:35 this afternoon, Senator Brent Taylor will be with us. He is obviously a senator from Memphis. We've talked to him quite a bit about making Memphis matter. He has worked tirelessly to try to make Memphis, Tennessee a better place, a safer place, a place where you would want to grow up, a place that you would want to raise your kids. It hasn't been that for a long time under Democrat control. Brent Taylor's been doing his best to try to make that happen, and he very quickly, after these redrawn district lines were announced that he is running for Congressional District number 9. Congressional District number 9 that stretches well into our neck of the woods here in our listening area to include portions of Murray County. I think it gets up into portions of Williamson County, Nolensville, and whatnot. We'll talk to Senator Taylor about his candidacy coming up at 3:35. At 6:05 this evening, we have a good friend of the show, Johnny Garrett. If anybody should be upset about these new district lines, it probably should be Johnny Garrett, but he has been the biggest cheerleader on this effort that I've seen in the House of Representatives and the General Assembly. He's going to join us at 6 o'clock to talk about what this means for his congressional candidacy in the 6th Congressional District and what it means for the United States of America. That's at 6:05, and I saved the worst for last, y'all. Because I'm so happy to be at Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. I'm so happy to be out and about. And I'm so happy that it's Friday. It is a First Amendment Freestyle Friday, but I am sad to tell you there will be no Fry J today. That's right. Sadly, Jay St. Clair, while partially retired, is not fully retired. And Jay is out in Phoenix, Arizona today, doing some, doing his due diligence and taking care of his business. As he likes to say, duty calls. And so we will be without Jay today, I'm sad to note. But we'll have him back next Friday for all of your legal questions in the 4 o'clock hour. But as it stands, we'll take phone calls. And once again, in the spirit of camaraderie, love, and companionship, I invite all of my liberal friends, if you want to call and uninterrupted by me, vent. If you want to speak your mind, if you want to talk about how awful and dastardly you consider this week to be, then we're here for you. We're here for the liberals. 615, because I know you're emoting right now. You're all of your feels are on the table right now. And I feel like you're a little butthurt and you need some compassion. And I'm here for you. 615-737-9986, either on the phones or via the super text line, 615-737-9986. It's The Murphy Show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It's insurance, your homeowner, or your home, I should say, in your car, if you're a homeowner and an automobile owner, and most of you are, they're two of your biggest investments, and you need to make sure that you protect those in the proper fashion. That's what King & Associates Insurance does on a day-to-day basis. If you're a first-time homeowner, a growing family, just shopping for better automobile rates, they make it simple. They can shop the entire marketplace. They don't work for any insurance companies. They work for you. There's no pushy salespeople, just honest advice, personalized service, and policies that actually make sense. They're local. They're independent. They work for you, not the big insurance companies. Here's the telephone number you need to call right now. Talk to Emery or one of the teammates at King & Associates. I guarantee they will help you. 329-8121, 329-8121, or online at tkinginsurance.com. That's tkinginsurance.com for King & Associates Insurance, protecting what matters most.
Now, two lawsuits to block the new congressional map here in Tennessee. We'll tell you about that coming up at 3:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's in about 2 minutes or so. We continue. It's the Matt Murphy Radio Show. First Amendment Freestyle Friday. We open up the phones on these Fridays. No Friday, so there's a special opportunity during the 4 o'clock hour for you to opine on any subject matter of your choosing. Monday through Thursday, I love taking telephone calls. It's my favorite thing to do. And so we engage, I believe, more so than any other radio show on planet Earth, right? But on these Fridays, I don't limit any subject matter. And as a matter of fact, as a gift to you, I promise to act interested in any subject that you bring up. That's kind of sometimes I'll go, that's boring. But not on Fridays. I don't do that. 615-737-9986 if you'd like to be a part of the show. We do have a couple of guests that interrupt First Amendment Freestyle Friday, one being Senator Brent Taylor. I wouldn't call it an interruption. He's got a lot to talk about what went down this week in the Tennessee General Assembly, and of course, his plans to run for Congress in the 9th Congressional District, the newly drawn 9th Congressional District. But as my grandpa, who's celebrating a birthday today, more on that later, he's no longer with us, but it's his heavenly birthday. As my grandpa used to say, there's a lot of slip between the cup and the lip, and there's a lot of hurdles, not hurdles that cannot be overcome, but hurdles nonetheless, that have to happen before we see those new lines enacted for this election cycle. I am confident, and Speaker of the House Cameron Sexton said this to us yesterday on the show. We are confident that when all of this has been fully adjudicated within the judicial system, that the Republicans have done what they needed to do in the state of Tennessee to dot their T's and cross their I's. I say dot their T's and cross their I's, and will come out successful. However, timing is all a matter of the courts. And so depending on what courts the Democrats get into, I know there's 2 separate lawsuits already. Ken's been telling you about that throughout the course of the day. The Democrats have now filed one today. The NAACP filed one yesterday. These are 2 separate lawsuits. One's in U.S. District Court. The other, I guess, is in Chancery Court. all of that has to move through the process. Now, the GOP is going to do its best to try to expedite that process and move it as swiftly as possible. The Democrats obviously are going to do everything in their power to try to slow all of this down. So if you want to speak to that, let's go. Also, some of you are suggesting that I'm being disingenuous in my opportunity to offer Democrats a chance to talk on the radio. I'm not. No, I like, hey, Matt Murphy, are you just trying to lure in Democrats so you can hook them and yell at them when they call? No. I don't think I need to yell at them. Democrats have been yelling enough this week for everybody, right? I've seen them in the General Assembly screaming and yelling and singing and all of that nonsense. I think it's time for a little love and understanding. So if y'all need some compassion, liberals, give me a call. 615-737-9986. We're in Murphreesboro, Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. Time for the news on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'll be gone for like a minute and a half.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. President Trump announcing a 3-day ceasefire in the war between Russia and Ukraine, scheduled to start tomorrow. They're also supposed to exchange about 1,000 prisoners each. And the U.S. expecting Iran's response to its peace proposal by the end of day today. Right now in Nashville, 2 lawsuits now to block the new congressional map that could give Republicans a 9th majority by splitting up Memphis into 3 districts. The NAACP filed in Chancery Court in Nashville yesterday, the Tennessee Democratic Party in federal court today. Meanwhile, Alabama's approved a plan for the primaries if the courts uphold new maps. And in Virginia, the state Supreme Court has struck down the voter-approved referendum that could have given Democrats an additional 4 U.S. House seats. And the CDC confirming it will deploy staff to the Canary Islands ahead of the arrival of the hantavirus cruise ship. The ship under scrutiny after a possible cluster of hantavirus infections. Those Americans on board to be transported to the National Quarantine Unit in Nebraska. Here's former White House COVID response coordinator, Dr. Ashish Jha.
I'm concerned about the people on the boat. I'm not concerned about everybody else. This is not going to turn out to be some pandemic.
And the Pentagon has started posting hundreds of so-called UFO files online, offering the public a closer look at decades of unexplained sightings. The newly released material includes videos, photos, and reports from the military, NASA, FBI, eyewitnesses. Officials stress the cases are labeled unresolved, meaning there is not enough data to identify what was seen. The Defense Department says additional files will be released on a rolling basis. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Crashes, Charlotte Avenue at I-40, Bell Road at Hickory Hollow Parkway, 65 southbound at Rosa Parks, then in Fairview, 840 eastbound past Pinewood Road. You've got a stalled RV there on the right shoulder. That's a big vehicle for that shoulder. You got to get by. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hey, what's up, guys? We're out at Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply, and I tell you all the time, there are 7 different Middle Tennessee locations. We're at the Murphreesboro shop today, just to invite those of you to stop by and say hello to us and talk about some of the incredible deals that they've got going on during Toro Days in May. Toro Days are happening right now, and you can upgrade your equipment, save big at Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. Through May 17th, you can take advantage of Toro walk mowers. They're designed for big-time power, long-lasting durability, and when they say go where the pros go, I mean, they have professional units in this showroom that you need to see. They got all manner of – they got weed eaters, and they've got blowers, and they've got, of course, the push mowers, and they've got the riders. Everything that you need to make that lawn look like a professional did it, you can find at Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. So if you're not nearby Murphreesboro and can't stop by today, Brentwood, Bellevue, Nashville, Hendersonville, Mount Juliet, Franklin, help is always close by. DickensSupply.com, DickensSupply.com, Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. Go where the pros go. Hey, friends, it's Matt Murphy, and, with spring comes, we've been talking about mowing season, but spring is also the season where you pull out the shorts and the springtime attire and get out and about a little bit more. And if you're doing that and you've noticed that you just don't feel good about how you look in your springtime clothes, and you got summer coming up and maybe you've got an event happening during the summer, might I recommend Contours LLC? Look, it's for guys and ladies too, and I'm not ashamed to tell you that I went to Contours. I wanted to see what's up. It was hard for me to believe. I'm a skeptic, and so I hear Dan Mandis. I believe Dan Mandis as long as the day is. But Dan's like, over 2 inches first treatment. I'm like, I got to see this for myself. So I go see Keith and the rest of the team, Stephanie, Leah, Piper. And first treatment, 2.67 inches around my midsection. That's right. They take the measurements pre your session, and then you get under the lights, the red light therapy, the ultra slim body contouring, and they guarantee you'll lose at least 2 inches, or the first treatment is of no cost to you. And it's just $99. The Belly Buster package is pretty, it's incredible. It's an introductory way to get you into the process and help you understand exactly this modern technology and what it can do for you, what it can do for your body. They do facials as well, revitalizing, red light therapy, can tighten your skin and restore your natural glow for both the guys and the girls. Visit ContoursLLC.com. See some of the specials they've got running, ContoursLLC.com, or 615-236-9960, 236-9960. What do you have to lose but inches? Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Lots going on at Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply in Murphreesboro. Lots going on back at home base. RJ, just let me know when we hook up with Senator Taylor. I think I sent you that number a little bit earlier, so I know you got a lot going on over there, brother. So
yeah, we're trying to get him through right now. Should be a few minutes.
Yep, absolutely. I know that Senator Taylor's anxious to talk to the people in our listening area about his run for Congress. He made that announcement pretty quickly, and there have been several questions about, how he had been thinking about these things. The campaign announcement was posted to social media almost immediately following the vote to redraw those district lines. Obviously, this is something that Senator Taylor had been thinking about for quite some time, because obviously Senator Taylor has been thinking about better representation in the halls of Congress for some time, considering that he lives in that neck of the woods. In an almost immediate fashion, U.S. Senators Marsha Blackburn and Bill Hagerty announced that they were endorsing Senator Taylor's candidacy for the 9th District. We had an endorsement yesterday from Jack Johnson, Senate Majority Leader, who who is widely considered to be the leader in the clubhouse to be the next lieutenant governor of the state of Tennessee. He made that announcement on our radio show yesterday evening, as a matter of fact, on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. So with all of that in mind, we look forward to speaking to the good senator about his candidacy and what he hopes to bring and he's been doing this for a while. He's been on the ground and in the dirt for a hot minute on attempting to make Memphis matter again. We've spoken to Senator Taylor several times about his effort to get the state's assistance and, by extension, the federal government's assistance in bringing crime to a reasonable level, or at least a more reasonable level in Memphis. And that has happened, y'all. The crime task force has been a wild success in Memphis. It's gone a long way in generating a lot of activity over there and a lot of good feelings with regard to what's happening there. So we're excited about speaking with him, and that should be happening any moment now. Let me know if you need any assistance on your end, RJ, because I think we should be ready to go on his end. I can reach out to him if necessary. 615-737-9986, 615-737-9986. I'll tell you what I'll do. I will, just in an effort to kind of clean this up, I will attempt to text him and let him know that we're trying to call him. So that might help you out on your end. Brent Taylor announced that he is running. I guess it was less than an hour after the vote occurred. You know, the way that this happened this week in the session was pretty masterful. And if you look at Virginia and how Virginia Democrats got so overly excited and they did not follow their own rules and their own process, then look at the way that Tennessee did it. So it became clear, because Democrats brought it up, it became really clear very early on that if they were going to redraw the district lines in 2026 in the state of Tennessee, that they had to overcome a 1970s era law that would prevent them specifically from doing that, right? The previous General Assembly wrote legislation in the 1970s that would prevent redrawing of district lines in the midst of a census process, or rather, I should say, in the middle of the stream. They can't change horses in the middle of the stream. You got the census in the aught years, right? So 2020 census. You'd redraw those lines after that census occurs. Those lines are expected to be come to fruition, in the next congressional election cycle, which would be 2 years post, and then you can't redraw the lines at any point after that. The state of Tennessee passed they repealed that law, and they did so and got it to the governor prior to doing any of this other activity, making sure that the governor had signed that legislation. And may I say something? When we bring up Governor Bill Lee on my show, and, we're one big happy family here, right? I mean, I love everybody. I want all the listeners, whether you're liberal, middle of the road, libertarian, conservative. But a lot of our conservative friends that listen to our show on a daily basis just are very, very angry at Governor Bill Lee. Still, very angry at Governor Bill Lee. And regularly, I don't use the term because I think it's stupid. And we can, if you want to challenge me on that, I'm happy to do it. But I don't use the term rhino very often, but it gets thrown at me a lot when it comes to Governor Bill Lee. And much of that anger, let me know if we've got him, RJ. I kind of see him on StreamYard there. So, okay, yeah, I just want to make sure that I'm not talking. I'll tell you what, I'll talk about the governor, and because I don't think the governor is getting the credit that he deserves for this. Amongst my conservative friends who love to refer to him as a rhino because of the situation that happened in 2020 with COVID, a lot of that anger remains because of the COVID era and because Governor Bill Lee was, governor during that time. And I think he deserves a little credit for making this happen as quickly as he did. I mean, literally got off the phone with the president, made it happen, made the call, got into session, did the things we needed to do, and got us out of session with redrawn district lines in a week. Speaking of that session, let's talk to somebody who was in the midst of it and who will be in the midst of the congressional fight because he has already announced that he's running for the 9th Congressional District. He is Senator Brent Taylor, and it's good to have him back on the Matt Murphy Show. Senator, good afternoon.
Hey, Matt, great to hear from you. I'm coming to you live on Highway 64 in this new 9th Congressional District. I'm on my way over to Giles County for a Reagan Day dinner, and I tell you that I'm getting closer and closer to God's country.
Well, let me tell you, you told me that you'd be traveling on the highways and byways of the new Congressional District 9, so we knew that it might be tough to grab a cell signal, so I'm glad that we were able to get a hold of you. We have talked many times in the past about making Memphis matter. That's your phrase, not mine, because you have been concerned with the leadership or lack thereof in Memphis, Tennessee for a long time, Senator, and you've done what you can to try to help your community that you love so much. And now you have announced that you are throwing your hat in the ring to do even more for that community as its next congressman. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, so I think, the people in this 9th Congressional District in West and Middle Tennessee, they may look and say, okay, what's a guy from Memphis, a state senator from Memphis, how is he going to help us? And I think what they can do is look at my track record of working hard. I was working harder than an ugly stripper to make sure that we can make Memphis matter by making Memphis safe. And people can look at that track record and say, you know what, that's the guy that can work hard to make sure that West and Middle Tennessee, that we can move Tennessee to the top. And so that's what I look to do in Congress. And I think if you think about it this way, I've been in state government working to improve education and fight crime. And Marcia Blackburn has been at the federal level, and we're just going to trade places. I'm going to go to the federal level in Congress, and she's going to be governor. And so we'll continue the partnership that we have built over the last several years. And so that's what I want to do is just want to try to improve Tennessee. And if to make sure that we can reduce crime in Tennessee and we can improve education in Tennessee, it has to be done in Memphis. And there are federal resources that are needed and federal attention that's needed. And who better to do that to make West and Middle Tennessee better by focusing on Memphis at the federal level. And that's what I hope to do.
I want to ask you about the process that you just went through this week in a moment, but I'll start here. There are some that have suggested that you've been thinking about this for some time. There are those that would suggest, Senator, that you were ready to go with this announcement, and I think it's pretty obvious that you were. I think it's pretty obvious that you've thought about the possibility of helping Memphis and, by extension, helping the rest of the new Congressional District 9 for some time. Just walk us through, your process in you clearly were thinking about this prior to seeing this redrawn map.
Well, I knew this was a possibility. The moment President Trump said that, asked the governors of these states that have these unconstitutional districts, when Governor Lee made that call to bring the legislature back to redraw these districts, I knew there was a possibility that there could be a district that I could run in. And, my detractors back home in Memphis, they say I drew the district and drew myself into it. Look, I've been in District 9 the last 5 years since the last time they drew. Cohen's been my congressman for 5 years, 6 years now. And so they didn't draw me into anything. I was in District 9 before we redid the maps, and I remain in District 9. And so nothing's changed there. But this is an opportunity to send a fighter to Congress that will do for West and Middle Tennessee what I have been able to do in Memphis. And look, Matt, you and I talked about it a lot. Memphis is different because of my service in the state Senate. We've reduced crime. We've cut crime in half. I was the Memphis Safe Task Force guy before there was a Memphis Safe Task Force. And it was the attention that I brought to Memphis about crime that I had President Trump send the Memphis Safe Task Force there, the National Guard, and all the alphabet soup agencies to Memphis to reduce crime. I want to do that for West and Middle Tennessee, and I think Congress is the best place to do it.
last week I've spoken. I've only been here since 2021. I'm a relative newbie in the state of Tennessee. But I've seen some of the shenanigans that the Democrats have pulled over the years, the Bullhorn Trio in the House of Representatives, largely immune from that over in the Senate, Senator. But yesterday, I think Senate Majority Leader Jack Johnson, he was on with us yesterday, and he described it as disgusting, what happened in the Senate body. Talk to us about what happened yesterday. And look, I understand that emotions were running high. I understand that, that Democrats don't want to lose. But the bottom line is that the Republicans stuck together and were determined to better represent the values of the state of Tennessee in the halls of Congress in Washington, D.C. But talk to me about what happened this week in the General Assembly.
Well, first of all, Senator Johnson said it was disgusting. Well, I sit right in front of Senator Charlene Oliver, and I knew there was a commotion going on behind me, but I didn't want to look because that was what they wanted. But I looked around, and all my colleagues on the Senate floor were looking at me like in horror, and I'm like, what the hell are they looking at me about? So I turned around, and Senator Johnson's description of disgusting is perfect, because I turned around, and Senator Oliver is standing on her desk with a dress on, and I turn around, and I'm able to look right up her skirt. And I realized, look, Matt, I'm a gentleman.
Yes,
and
sir.
I did not want to do that to a lady that was doing a table dance. So I got up and moved so that I would not block anyone's view of Senator Oliver's table dance that she did on her desk. And it was Senator Johnson was correct. It was disgusting. And the thing about it is there were probably 4 Republican votes that were going to be with them in opposing these maps. And their effort to try to win the case, they actually lost votes. And after the Republicans saw the shenanigans that went on, they decided that they weren't going to vote and be a part of that. It was a clown show. It was a clown show without the makeup, and it was quite disgusting.
You will be asked quite a bit about the breakup of Memphis and turning a district that was represented by 1 congressman into one that will potentially be represented by 3 should these maps clear judicial hurdles. But I want to ask you a question that was asked of me yesterday regarding the map generally, but I'll make it specific to you. Senator, you're from over Memphis way, and the people in Williamson County and Murray County and maybe Giles County, they want to know about you and how you are best prepared to represent them. How do you respond to that?
Well, again, I would, because I know that that's a natural question to say, look, how is a senator from Shelby County going to best represent, in many cases, largely a rural district, but it's also an affluent district when you look at Williamson County. Mm-hmm. And look, man, I'm not originally from Tennessee. I got here as quick as I could. At 19 years old, I moved to Memphis, and I was born and raised in a small town. My dad was in the lumber business, retail lumberyard, hardware store. That was the business I grew up in. And matter of fact, that was the same business that Senator John Kennedy grew up in as well. And so that's probably where we became smartasses, was doing that. So I grew up in a small town, moved to Memphis, and, I'm a funeral director by profession. And, many people would consider me to be a Southern planter. I've never had a harvest, but one glorious day I'm going to have a harvest. So I can relate to the farmers out in the rural parts of the area. But my district back home, my Senate district, is very much like Williamson County, and I understand the needs of the urban center of Memphis, as I've been working to make Memphis matter. So I really think I'm uniquely positioned to represent Middle and West Tennessee, even though I've come from the far west end of the district.
Well, I'll say this as we wrap up, because we're simply out of time. I trust that this will be the first of many conversations moving forward, spring into summer, leading our way to the August primaries. But I'll just say this, Brent. I've always told people that if you want to find the funniest people in your community, go to the funeral home and talk to the funeral home folks because they're some of the funniest. And you just demonstrated. I'd never heard that one before, but that's pretty good. I've heard people are dying to get to you, Senator. That's the one.
And the death rate's 100%.
That's exactly.
And I tell people that all men are cremated equal.
That's wonderful. We'll talk again. Have fun in Giles County, and we'll speak to you very soon. Thank you for being with us.
Matt, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Okay, take care. There's Senator Brent Taylor joining us for a few moments. I'm running late. It's 55 after the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Quick timeout. Back after this.
4 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. A huge plume of black smoke still pouring from a plastics company in Henry County. This is about halfway between Memphis and Nashville right now. So far, I don't see any reports of any injuries or how that fire started, but it's been burning for a couple of hours now. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. President Trump announcing a 3-day ceasefire in the war between Russia and Ukraine, scheduled to start tomorrow. The pause tied to Russia's Victory Day commemoration includes a full halt to military activity, along with planned exchange of 1,000 prisoners from each side.
President Trump has hailed this short 3-day ceasefire as perhaps the beginning of the end of the war in Ukraine. But in reality, there's no reason to think that. Vladimir Putin had called for this brief pause in attacks for this weekend over Russia's Victory Day holiday when he holds a huge annual military parade on Red Square. The Kremlin was worried that Ukraine might attack that parade.
As Patrick Reevell reporting, the U.S. expecting Iran's response to its peace proposal sometime today. Here's Tom Sufi Burridge.
We have had a quote via Iranian state media from an Iranian official saying, quote, the clashes have now stopped and the atmosphere is calm. And that might be a sign, just might, that there is a bit of space now and hopefully for diplomacy to play its course.
Another lawsuit filed to block Tennessee's new congressional map, which could give Republicans a 9th majority by splitting Memphis into 3 districts. The NAACP filing the lawsuit yesterday in Nashville Chancery Court. Today, Tennessee Democratic Party filed a separate lawsuit in federal court. Meanwhile, in Virginia, that state Supreme Court blocked the voter-approved redistricting plan that could have given Virginia Democrats 4 more seats in Congress. CDC officials say personnel headed to the Canary Islands this weekend to pick up the Americans on board the Hantavirus cruise ship. American passengers to be escorted to the National Quarantine Unit in Nebraska. Here's former White House COVID response coordinator Dr. Ashish Jha saying everyone needs to calm down.
I'm concerned about the people on the boat. I'm not concerned about everybody else. This is not going to turn out to be some pandemic. This is not a virus that spreads that easily. I think if you're sitting at home watching, you're going to be fine.
And the Pentagon releasing the first set of complete UFO files that President Trump promised to unveil. Photos, video from the FBI and other agencies, but officials say it does not prove that there is extraterrestrial life out there. It's just stuff that they can't explain. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Crashes, Woodbine, left lane block, 440 eastbound before Nolensville Pike. Belmont area, you got an overturned vehicle blocking the right lane, 440 westbound past Hillsborough Pike, 21st Avenue. Got a stalled vehicle blocking the right lane of 24 westbound at Murphreesboro Pike. Metro Center, a crash, 65 southbound at Rosa Parks Boulevard, and in Dixon, got a medical emergency. It is blocking the right shoulder, 840 eastbound past I-40 West. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, friends. Welcome back. Matt Murphy Show in progress. 7 minutes after 4 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It is a First Amendment Freestyle Friday edition of the Matt Murphy Show, and we are out and about today. I love getting out and about. I love getting to see the folks. I love getting to wonderful businesses like Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply, and that's where we are today in Murphreesboro. There's 7 separate locations, and we'll talk to Tony and his crew a little bit later on about all of that. But you can find us at the Murphreesboro location this afternoon. We're here until 7, or stop by any of their convenient locations, Nashville and Bellevue and Hendersonville and Mount Juliet, and there's many more. But Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply is where you'll find us today. It is, well, I guess Ferris Days was going on. Now we got Toro Days going on. They got a lot of things happening at Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. We've got a lot of things happening on the phone lines. If you'd like to be a part of the show, 615-737-9986. Now's a good time to call in. No Fry J today. If you're just joining us, just getting in your cars, I am sad to report to you that we will not have Fry J today. Jay St. Clair is out in Phoenix, Arizona at a legal conference of sorts. I don't know. You know, maybe he is, maybe not. Who knows? We'll find out next week. But no, Friday, that loss is your gain on the phone lines at 615-737-9986 if you have any thoughts over what's gone down over the last week in the state of Tennessee. If you're frustrated about that, you may give us a call and express that same frustration. And look, I'm inviting you to, as I said during the first hour, love on your local liberal today. If you know of a liberal in your life, if they've not already cut you off because of their Trump derangement syndrome, then perhaps you can give them a little love. Tell them how much you care for them. Maybe buy them a beverage of their choosing. I mean, it's my understanding liberals like, I'm not against a seltzer every now and again. It's my understanding they like those things. Maybe a spritzer, maybe one of those flowery drinks with the in the pineapples with the little umbrellas on them. You know what I'm talking about? The little fancy umbrellas, the chick drinks. Perhaps one of those. I don't want to assign pronouns to the drink. I'm just suggesting that maybe that's something that our liberal buddies might enjoy because they need it. They have nothing else. What happened this week in the Tennessee General Assembly was nothing short of a childish hissy fit by a group of individuals that have no other recourse than to simply throw childish hissy fits. What's sadder to me, I mean, obviously the shenanigans amongst the likes of Senator Charlene Oliver, Representative Justin Jones, Representative Justin Pearson, both of whom could have easily been arrested for some of their actions in the General Assembly yesterday. The saddest thing is that this actually benefits them amongst their base. And the base ought to be pushing away from these types of shenanigans. And if the Democrats had any ability to look through the forest to see the trees, 7742 says a wine cooler. You're probably right. If the Democrats had any ability to look through the forest and see the trees, they would recognize that in the spirit of the free market, in the spirit of open government, in the spirit of equality, that this is an opportunity zone for you. This is opportunity for the Democrats. And I'm not here to give you folks any ideas, but if y'all, do you have any moderates in your party left? Because if you've got moderates in your political party, there's an opportunity for you in 9. There's an opportunity for you in 6. Now, I'm not here to tell the voters what to do. I often will tell you not to make a selection until the last second, because once you pick a team, politics is like sport. Once you pick a team, you dig in on that team, and your team doesn't break the rules. Your team shouldn't get flagged. Your team should always win their games. And we feel that way in politics too. But if politics is a team sport, Democrats, got an opportunity to add people to your team. If you saw it, instead they go even further. They lurch even further to the left. The same types of policies and the same types of people that have pushed Democrats away over the last 10 years, they're doubling and tripling and quadrupling down on those concepts instead of recognizing the opportunity that has been presented to you. Let me explain what I mean. My concern with everything that's happening right now has always been born in the idea that it would not work. And I'm a natural pessimist, and so I gravitate to the worst possible scenario, and then I have to be pulled from that back into the middle, and eventually, perhaps I can see the better scenarios that are available in any given circumstance or any given dynamic. In this dynamic, I saw the possibility of not only not securing the 9th, but losing the 5th, and maybe even putting other districts at potential risk. Well, with that in mind, the Republicans, when they redrew the districts, I'm just doing basic math, right? So, and I don't want to bore you with the math on this, but Congressional District 9 was like a Dem plus 23. And by that, I mean, oh, look at there. Hold on, I've got to suspend my detailed analysis because the look who has come. Brooks, what's going on, buddy? How are you? I hadn't seen you in forever. How's it going? Give me some knucks over there. How about some knucks over here? What's going on, guys? Y'all doing all right? Get your dad on the mic. Brooks, get over here on the mic. All right, look at that. All right, we have been joined. We are honored to be joined by the reigning nincompoops in the news champions. That would be the Hand family joining us on the program today. And young Brooks is with us. What's going on, Brooks?
Nothing much.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
You look great. You going to a ball game?
Yes, sir.
All right. What's up with that? Now, hold on a second, Brooks. Is that a Yankees uniform you're wearing?
I know.
Hey, get him. You got him in here? I can't hear him. I can't hear him. Down there. There we go. No, you're good, Curb. So have you and your dad talked about it? It's
yes.
okay. It's all right.
We're keeping it in the garage.
You're keeping it in the garage. What? The uniform or the trophy?
The uniform.
The uniform. Yeah. So you're not happy about that, but you can overcome. You can
At least
overcome.
I have a good team.
That's good.
How's the team been going? How's that going for you?
We're 4-2.
4-2. That's great. What position you play, Brooks?
I play catcher.
Yeah. That's important. That's an important position. That's exactly right. What's up, Hand?
Not much. How are you?
Who's this young fella? Have we seen each other lately?
Here, stand up. Introduce yourself.
What's your name?
Bishop.
Bishop? I don't think I've ever said hello to you, Bishop. Have we ever met?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Well, it's good to see you, too. You play ball, Bishop?
Yeah.
What position do you play?
I play second, and I just play second.
You just play second?
And third sometimes.
You don't give Brooks the business about being on the Yankees, do you?
He does.
He didn't even let you answer, does he? Well, you can't pick those sorts of things. That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. How have you enjoyed being the holder of the trophy for this week?
Yeah, I don't think I skipped a day of eating out of it. We've had cereal, we've had oatmeal, we've had ice cream.
Kid Weaver is back at home base back in Nashville, and he wants to know what kind of ice cream you ate out of it, Brooks.
Yeah.
Vanilla. That's the best kind.
You didn't put any peanut butter in it, Brooks?
No peanut butter?
No, a little bit.
And then maybe
Little bit, all right.
Bishop, you didn't eat out of that thing, did you?
No, I can't have milk. No.
No milk for you? Okay. Well, y'all have just been an honor to possess the trophy. It's been so good for you guys to treat the trophy in this fashion. I mean, I'm proud to say that it moves from the Hand family back to the Murphy camp because I'm the winner this week. So, how about that? So you're turning it over. Give me some nucks on that. Nucks on
I
that.
hope you don't see the spot where we broke it.
That's the funniest thing. I've got something for your dad, too. My wife, when I was leaving the house today, she said, "Are you going to see Chris Hand because you're in Murphreesboro?" And I said, "Yes, I will." And she said, "Would you please give him this because he's always complaining that there are no forks at the radio station." So I don't know. So y'all give me a trophy and a crown, and I give Chris Hand some disposable forks, some utensils, right? So who are you guys playing today?
We're playing the Royals.
The Royals? Oh, you feel good about it?
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you? What?
We're gonna absolutely smoke them.
Bishop says you're going to smoke them, bro.
Actually, I think the Royals are gonna smoke them. I hate the Yankees.
Do you?
Yeah, speak up.
Yeah.
I hate this Yankees.
You hate the Yankees?
Yeah. Told you he's been taunting me.
Well, but it's different, right? I mean, the you know. Hey, does it? Do you guys ever listen to the radio when people pick on your dad from being from Canada?
Really.
See, I finally found a guest that I can stump.
Yeah,
It's
you
Brooks.
got it. You got it. There's
him.
one. We got one. We got one.
It's Brooks. Hey, have you heard that I've in honor of what's gone down this week, Chris? I'm declaring it be nice to a liberal weekend.
Oh, it's all right.
Yeah, I think it's time to be nice to liberals this weekend.
That's very kind of you.
Because they've had a rough week.
They've had a rough week. I went the suck it losers route.
Okay,
but I
sure.
think
That's fair. I think
that your route is also nice.
I think it's off brand for me to say, hey, whatever they're drinking, the wine coolers, spritzers, whatever they're drinking.
Zima.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go the suck it loser route.
you're going suck it loser route.
And I'm gonna do that to the team we play.
Yeah,
and
good
I'm
for you.
officially in trouble if Mom's listening.
Brooks said, "Wait a minute, Dad can say suck it losers. I guess I can say suck it losers."
Yeah, it probably wasn't my finest moment.
Well, I hope you beat them pretty badly there, Brooks.
I'll pull out the win for you.
Yeah, thank you.
If I win, you have to give me the trophy back for a week, though.
Murphy, don't start making new rules.
You see where my negotiating comes from.
That's exactly right. It's from
Apples and trees.
Having all these kids.
Yeah.
You gotta work the system. Brooks, I have to consult with my compatriots back home before I can make that arrangement. Did you hear Ken Weaver in your ears there? Ken, what do you say about that, Ken?
Murphy can't be making new rules, Brooks.
Yeah, so I'm not allowed to make those types of rules. Otherwise, I'd be all in.
Well, the trophy is still ours right now, so I make a new rule. If we win, then
It's not nincompoops time yet. He's right. We technically haven't made the trade.
Bad, oh bad. You're going to get a trophy at the end of this season anyway. You're going to have a fine-looking trophy by the time you guys take care of business.
I'll trade you that one for this one.
All right, I'll tell you what. I'll make a deal with you. I'll negotiate with you. You guys win the what does the championship look like? What does the season look like? When is this happening?
There's 3 brackets. There's the golden, silver, or bronze.
Okay, you win the golden bracket. Okay?
Okay.
And you get the trophy back for a week.
Deal.
Deal?
Deal.
All right, that's a deal.
What if we make
sure
it to
you
the
shake
golden
on it.
bracket?
Crossing. Hey, Ken. Hey, Ken, is that okay with you? Is that all right? If they win their championship for their baseball team, we're going to let them have the trophy for a week. Is that okay with you, Ken?
Yes, sir.
All right, that's good. Ken says yes. Matt says yes. So we're good, Brooks.
All right.
All right. Now, when is this all happening?
The golden bracket.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's gonna happen in
We got to check with Mom. That's usually
a
what we
mom
fall back
question.
on.
Yeah.
We got to check
Is
with
that a mom question? Okay. Well, we'll check with Mom, but I guarantee you'll let me know. You let me know, and I'm good on my word. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So tell everybody just listening, because there's I don't know if you know this, Brooks. There's at least 5-6 people listening to this conversation right now. At least 5 or 6. What do you have to say to those people who I mean, do you have anything, regarding your reign as Nincompoop champion? How's it been for you?
Amazing.
Amazing? Yeah. It's good to be the king, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, that crown's pretty heavy, huh, Bishop? Yeah? No? You like that? Did you enjoy wearing that? I saw you wearing that crown in here.
No, you didn't.
Oh,
I still
thought
have
I
a
did.
headache from drinking all the soda from the cup.
What kind of soda?
Whatchamacallit?
Sparkling cider.
Sparkling cider.
We were spraying it. You saw the picture.
Oh,
We were
I
spraying
did.
it all
I
over the
did.
Mom's still mad because the kitchen's still sticky from it.
Yeah. Is she? Well, I can imagine that your mom gets mad about a lot of things when your dad's around. I can imagine
Very
that
true.
that's the
Very
case.
true.
Well, thank you guys for stopping by in Murphreesboro. Thank you for bringing the trophy back to us, and good luck tonight. When's your game?
I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Mom question.
We got to get there in about 20 minutes.
All right. So good
Good
luck,
luck.
Brooke. Good luck. Good luck, Bishop. Y'all have a fine weekend. Be nice to liberals this weekend, guys.
Yes, sir.
Hey, and thanks for everything. There's Chris. Hey, there's the Hand crew.
That's
And
the
by way,
Hand family right there.
The Hand family, and Cindy came along just to say hello to you, Chris. Cindy is here just to say hey to you. We're going to take a short time out. We'll be back in a moment. Get to you on the telephone, 615-737-9986. It's The Murphy Show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
President Trump says Russia and Ukraine have agreed to a ceasefire. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the U.S. is expecting word from Iran on a peace proposal today. Redistricting battles. We'll tell you about the latest lawsuit here in Tennessee coming up at 4:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. The Matt Murphy Show continues live from Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply in Murphreesboro. 7 different locations for Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. And look who we found in the back room somewhere. It's Trey Hartsook of Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. I feel like I feel like we talk on a daily basis, Trey, because I talk about you so much. What's going on, brother?
Man, what's up? Hey, the last time I guess we were having a good lunch. Where were we at, man? Was it like Stony River, huh? It was good, right?
It was good.
Yeah,
it was down on West End.
It was
West
Brick
End.
Tops. Yeah, Brick Tops. That's right.
It was
yeah.
Bricks Tops West End. It's been a minute.
Yeah, man. Hey, good food, though. Good times, though, right?
It's great times.
Yeah,
and,
man.
And what a great time at Dickens. Thank you for having us out, man.
No, man. I love seeing this kind of volume, seeing y'all out here, because I'm telling you, man, like, as somebody that's been in the company, I guess this is year 10 for me now.
Yeah.
Just seeing how it's grown and just seeing, like, if somebody would have told me that kind of when I started here and what our company would turn into and having just buildings like this and having cool stuff like this going on, it kind of be hard to believe probably.
No question. And I mean, I know you hear this a lot, but I love the fact that you're local. You're from this community, you know this community, you love this community, and that's part of what I think draws people to you. Not only the great product, you got fabulous products, you got fabulous service, you got fabulous people, but the fact that, I mean, we feel like we're keeping our money in the state of Tennessee, and I think people love that aspect of Dickens.
Just from a small business perspective, like, it's super cool because, like, some of our direct competitors are national,
right?
Big billion-dollar corporations. And we just do it different, right? I mean, we just want that small-town feel. We're owned by one guy. He lives in Nashville. And you would really, if you knew how passionate Brian Dixon was about this industry, he just loves this industry, man. And it's really cool because he had no background prior. So, he acquired Dickens Supply just because he liked it. He liked the lawnmowers. He liked being outside. He liked his landscaping. And then, it's something he's really passionate about, and that's why he hires guys, like us. That we all love this stuff, man.
Well, I mean, no, and you walk into this shop, and you'll see the professional lawn guys. They come to you because you've got the best equipment. I mean, these Ferris zero-turn mowers, I've never seen anything like them, and because there really isn't anything like them.
No, man, not at all. And you kind of people say that same thing about cars. Like if you get in a 2006 Chevrolet whatever, you get in a 2026 Chevrolet whatever, there's a huge gap in technology and how they function, how they drive. Mowers are no different. Like you get on a 25-year-old machine and you get on one of these new Ferrises, they're just night and day different, man. And they, the mower industry is ever evolving. Every year it's like who can do the next cool thing. And they've got these things now, man, especially for the commercial cutters, like you said. You can hop on one of these Ferris IS whatever, 800, 2200, 3200, and, man, you can ride those things all day. Smooth as smooth can be.
I mean, yeah, no. Everyone that has sat on that Ferris has been like, "Oh man, this feels good on the tush." I mean, it does.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, that's what it's designed for. Right?
Well, I mean, dude, we've all, if you spend any time on the seat of a lawnmower, being in Middle Tennessee, like you can get jarred around a little bit, get beat up, and so I think that's a question that you get asked pretty early on in the sales process of zero turn is like, am I gonna bounce to death? And it's like, no, man, these new seats and all this technology to take some of the bump out of the ride, man, makes a huge difference.
Well, if you want to make a difference in your lawn game, right, for those that like to do, I love to do it myself.
Mm-hmm.
I got a little bit too big a property to do it for right now, but I'm coming to you guys when it's time to roll that over. But now's the time, right? You got Toro Days going on. You got great deals on a lot of different stuff.
Sure, man. And so that's kind of our niche at Dickens Supplies. Like we're gonna be there for you on all sides of the lawn. The do it yourself kind of guy. Like we want to help you get your lawn where it's very nice, and you have one of the nicest lawns in the industry, and we do that with our turf plan that's been around for a long time. It's custom formulated. It doesn't matter whether you have 0.3 of an acre or 33 acres, big, small. Mm-hmm. We've got a plan that you can do, and then you got to cut it, right? Once you get it looking good, it's growing, it's fertilized, you got to cut it. We help with that, and then probably the most neat thing that we do that's kind of I would say makes Dickens a little different as we work on everything. You know, everything that we sell, we do warranty.
Right.
And our technicians, man, like the guys that work on these machines and weed eaters and blowers, like they're very talented guys. Like I know it kind of can seem like, oh, there's not too much to fix a mower or a weed eater. But, you know, that's something that we take a lot of pride in, and being time efficient, because we know, man, like – this time of year, especially in the spring with the rain we're getting, your mower can only be broken so long.
Right.
Because if not, dude, that grass is going to you're going to be behind, man. And so we take a lot of pride, man, taking in equipment, getting it fixed, and getting it back out to the customer.
Can you rattle all the locations off?
Oh, every time, man. Yeah. It's Nashville, Cool Springs, Hendersonville, Murphreesboro, Bellevue, Brentwood, Lawnmower, Mount Juliet, and Franklin, opening up at 7 a.m., closing at 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, 8 to 12 on Saturday.
It's a big – I mean, listen, 7 locations. Somewhere near you is a Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. You need to go in. You need to say hello. Do me a favor and tell everybody you heard about him on the Matt Murphy Show on Super Talk. And you'll probably see Trey at one of those locations, right? You're
around,
everywhere,
man.
baby.
Yeah, hey, we're boots on the ground, dude. So, yeah, we're excited, man. Thanks for coming out, though, man. We really enjoy this.
It is absolutely our pleasure. There's Trey Hartsook with Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. News now on Super Talk 99.7 WTN, 32 after the hour.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. President Trump says Russia and Ukraine have agreed to a 3-day ceasefire starting tomorrow. Here's Patrick Reevell.
After President Trump pressed Ukraine, President Zelensky has now agreed to no attacks on the condition that Russia free 1,000 POWs. Both sides say they will observe the pause this weekend, but there's no expectation that Putin will extend it past Monday.
And Secretary of State Marco Rubio confirming the administration is expecting Tehran's response to a peace proposal today. Meanwhile, some fighting persists between Israel and Lebanon, but it's not Lebanon, it's Hezbollah in Lebanon. Redistricting battles. Alabama has now approved a new congressional map to benefit Republicans. Meanwhile, here in Tennessee, the fight is heading to court. The NAACP filing a suit yesterday in Nashville Chancery Court. Now the Tennessee Democratic Party's filed a federal lawsuit. Meanwhile, in Virginia, the Democrats' redistricting plan that would have given them 4 more seats was blocked by that state's Supreme Court. An official at the CDC confirming to ABC News that teams are being sent to the Canary Islands. The action comes as that hantavirus cruise ship prepares to dock Sunday. The ship is the focus of that suspected hantavirus cluster that has killed at least 3 people. Those Americans on board are going to be taken to the National Quarantine Unit in Nebraska. Many concerned, but former White House COVID response coordinator Dr. Ashish Jha.
Hantavirus itself is pretty rare. This strain is rare. It's the only one where you get spread from person to person. I don't see this becoming some big global outbreak.
New data showing artificial intelligence is driving a growing share of layoffs nationwide. Outplacement firm Challenger, Gray and Christmas reports AI was cited in more than 1/4 of April's job cuts. Technology sector saw the most losses as companies pivot spending away from workers and toward automation. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Belmont area got an overturned vehicle blocking the right lane. 440 westbound past Hillsborough Pike. Got a crash at Charlotte Avenue and I-40. Nolensville Pike just north of Haywood Lane. 65 southbound at Rosa Parks Boulevard. Then 840 eastbound past I-40 West in Dixon County. Murphreesboro got a crash off-ramp partially blocked. 24 eastbound to Medical Center Parkway. I'm Ken Weaver.
All right, so it's as simple as this, folks. If you're not feeling well, you call your doctor, and odds are, because I know how the medical industry works, you're told, oh, yeah, we'll get you in next Friday. And they're like, next Friday? That's a week from now. If it's next Friday, sometimes it's up to 2 weeks out. They don't do that at Grace Point Healthcare. They believe that you deserve to be treated when you're not feeling well, which is why there are no wait times. They get you scheduled with your appointment. They get you in, and you don't have to wait in the waiting room either, which is another frustration for doctors' offices. They're affordable, convenient, and comprehensive medicine. They're located in Franklin, but let me tell you, they're worth the drive from anywhere within the sound of my voice because they are a direct pay medical care facility. What that means is that the insurance company isn't in the room when you're making decisions with your doctor, nor should they be, because the insurance company is trying to do things in the most cost-effective fashion, and sometimes that goes against what is best for you and your medical care. That's where Grace Point comes in. They never let the insurance company involve themselves in the treatment process, and you can always file with the insurance company for reimbursement after the fact. Ask them about the Smart Care plan. You can pay that through your HSA, $99 a month through the HSA, and you get unlimited office visits throughout the course of the year. Here's the number, 599-6868, 599-6868. I encourage you to call and set up an appointment today with Grace Point Healthcare. Modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way. Hey, friends, it's Matt Murphy, and I want to talk to you about your health insurance, right? So perhaps you're frustrated with your policy. Perhaps you're not getting the most out of your insurance plan. If you are upset because you've added members of your family to your insurance and the premiums have gone up, or just the premiums have gone up because it's 2026 and that's what's happened to them, I want you to call Shane Ring and Cover Nash. Here's what Shane will provide for you, right? Number one, Shane does not work for an insurance company at all. He works for you. But he does have access to every insurance plan available to you in the marketplace in the state of Tennessee. So he will be able to shop about 75 different plans and programs, and he'll find the right one for you. If you're overpaying, he'll let you know that. Here's the wonderful thing, though. If you're in a good situation, he'll tell you that too, which is something that people go, really? Really, Shane will tell you if you're in the right place for the right amount of money. But if you're not, and odds are you're not, he can help navigate the very, very complicated rules of health insurance and find you the right plan for you and for your family. If you're self-employed, uninsured, just tired of paying too much, don't fall into this, it's not open enrollment season trap. That is what it is. 615-465-0023, 465-0023, or online at coverdash.com. That's coverdash.com. .97 WTN. I've been promising telephone calls, and now I shall deliver. 615-737-9986. 615-737-9986. Nincompoops in the news in the 5 o'clock hour. Johnny Garrett, our good friend, running for the 6th Congressional District. At least he was. One would assume that he is still running. He'll be with us at 6:05. We're live at Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply this afternoon until 7 o'clock. Would love to see you, and would love to hear from you on the telephone, 615-737-9986. 615-737-9986. Phone lines or super text line. And I believe James has been holding the longest out of Hermitage. Hello, James. Welcome into the Murphy Show.
Hello, Matt. How are you doing?
I'm fabulous, James. Thank you for calling.
I just wanted to say first that you are the most sidetracked individual I have ever listened to. You get sidetracked very easily. But I know you got a lot on your plate.
It is. There's a lot. There's a lot going on, James. I'm rather. I admit I'm rather OCD at times, and I'm
ADHD,
very, very.
yeah.
You know, I used to tell people that I would have ADD if I believed in it.
Well, anyway, I just wanted to comment, and I hope that Chris Hand and his youngins did not see any of that circus on television or anywhere else, because the people of Memphis should be embarrassed by that. They should be embarrassed. That was the worst. I mean, it was like a bunch of children.
Well, it was, and sad to say, they are emotionally immature. And when emotionally immature people recognize that they're not going to be able to get their way, oftentimes they pitch hissy fits.
That's what exactly it looked like. Exactly.
Yeah.
But thank you very much. I hope you're having fun out there. It sounds like you are.
Having a good time, James. Thank you for the call, my friend. I appreciate you. I'll try to stay on track. 615-737-9986. Take care, brother. Let's go to JD next in Franklin. Hey, JD, what's up?
Hey, JD. Hey, Matt. Excuse me. Thanks for having me on. I wasn't expecting it. I was just listening to your point about the Democrats struggling with moderates, and I'm a former Democrat voter who switched over to the Republicans in 2020. I testified at the Capitol as the gender detransitioner under Jeremy Faison the past 2 years.
Yes,
and
sir.
what struck me was how the lawmakers seemed locked into the activist talking points, particularly from the Tennessee Equality Project. They didn't engage with me as an actual person, but they had boilerplate talking points. And so I really, that's something that came up with me again and again in the Tennessee state legislature, especially for a party that prides itself as universal health care for all. They really didn't have any solutions for my health care needs as a gender detransitioner.
Do you mind, I mean, based on you saying that you've spoken and talked about this publicly in the past, would you tell us a little of your story, JD?
Oh, sure. I don't mind. I guess I can start from the top. I didn't know if you had a specific question.
No, I think I've heard your story in the past, but for those that perhaps haven't, I would be curious to hear your testimony regarding how you transitioned and then how that came to be a detransition.
Sure. Well, I started at Planned Parenthood Nashville and Vanderbilt here in Nashville, and especially at Planned Parenthood, that was an informed consent model. Mm-hmm. So I came in with mental health concerns as a multiple rape survivor, and they just were very cavalier with that at the onset, especially at Planned Parenthood. And my hope with this bill and the work and the advocacy I've done against Planned Parenthood in the past few years is that they will have more reporting requirements, so people like myself that come in as a multiple rape survivor aren't just completely disregarded by the medical system. And I moved to Los Angeles after the pandemic and got hooked up with, or tried to hook up with, their social services sector in Los Angeles. I got placed in a transgender halfway house in South Central Watts area and almost got stabbed to death. And that's basically really what kind of jump-started the whole gender detransition, was the fact that I realized as a working class person that I was never going to pass as a female, and I was going to be put in violent situations, daily, reoccurring situations. And so I tried to do it in California, get detransitioning help, and of course they were completely beholden to the activists in California. So I eventually moved back to Nashville area.
Well, I mean, I think your story is a very, very important one to tell to people because it indicates to me, and you tell me if I'm wrong, how pushy, at least maybe not the medical industry is. I wouldn't suggest that I know how it is today, but certainly how pushy the medical industry became regarding your situation and how they were they focused in navigating you to a certain conclusion as opposed to helping you understand all of the available health options to you. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, and in regards to my testimony before the state legislature with Democrat Antonio Parkinson, he brought up how, as an adult, you should have the mental acuity to navigate these decisions. And as a moderate libertarian now, I certainly understand his point. However, I did not receive the full context of what this process entailed, especially I had to go outside the gender clinician model and get a recommendation from a Chicago plastic surgeon who basically told me that these technologies would be 30 or 40 years in the future to be a passing female. And of course, at the gender clinics, they don't really say that outright. So I think as a mentally ill person that's been through some trauma and violence, that's an unfair expectation to put on adults too. I'm all about medical transparency, and that's what attracted me to RFK Jr. and eventually got me into the Trump coalition.
Nice. How are you doing now?
I'm hopeful about the bill, especially in my conversations with Jeremy Faison. I'm having to go to part of the problem is Vanderbilt is a monopoly, and the current system the current medical provider that I'm going to is still under the Vanderbilt umbrella. So I'm a little bit have some trepidation about going to see this new provider, but I'm having to kind of still search high and low for medical providers. I'm also in regularly work with national organizations that some of them are, supported by the Heritage Foundation, and they're trying to replace me with an appropriate therapist. But in Tennessee, it's challenging. There's of course state laws that prevent people from getting therapists outside the state lines. So it's sometimes challenging here in Nashville because a lot of it is filtered through Vanderbilt still to this present day.
Well, JD, we're praying for you, buddy. We're thinking about you, and call anytime and help remind us that we need to be talking about this legislation. It's very important.
Well, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it, and have a great weekend.
Yeah, you have a good weekend, too. There's JD. We'll get more of your calls in a moment, 615-737-9986. Quick timeout right now, live from Dickensturf and Landscape Supply. It's the Matt Murphy Show, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It is bug season out there, y'all. I mean, the grass grows, the bugs are, getting together, having romantic dinners and making baby bugs, right? That's what they do. And then they want your stuff. They want your food. They want your AC. They want the inside of your house. Bugs, I like to say bugs are a little communist. They don't want to work for anything, but they want everything. Well, if you allow them, they will descend upon your home. They'll descend upon your family, and they'll take over. We don't want to allow this. That's where U.S. Pest comes in. J.K. and Erica Brister are fabulous at what they do. And what they do is simply eliminate bugs and those problems that are associated with them from your life. Now, when I say bugs, I'm also talking termites, and sometimes people make the distinction between the two. But termites threaten every home in the state of Tennessee. Your home is threatened. And they offer a 100% money-back guarantee in both preventative and corrective services for termite protection. Same thing with full-service pest control. If you have a company that's servicing your house and you're not satisfied, or you maybe see bugs, or you don't really understand what they're doing to prevent them on your property, in your home, call U.S. Pest and allow them to offer you a free pest and termite inspection. It's what they do. 590-1260, 590-1260, U.S. Pest. They love the United States of America, and they hate bugs. Online at uspest.com.
A cyber attack targeting a major grading and assignment hub for students here in Tennessee and across the nation. We'll tell you about that and other top stories at 5 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Back in News Closet B, home base, Nashville, Tennessee, on the dead-end street that is Music Row. RJ's running the controls, making sure that everything that comes out of our speakers sounds as good as humanly possible. He's also at home base. Young Joseph and Kirby helping us out here on location. Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. Appreciate all of you for being a part of the show today, and thank you all for stopping by. Several of you have already stopped by. We had Brother Chris Hand stop by. He delivered the Nincompoops Trophy back at home base, where it ought to be, in the hands of your host, your humble correspondent, Matt Murphy. We've also had a number of other listeners stop by, and I just got a visit from Aubrey, who is a loyal listener and faithful super texter. Aubrey texts us from time to time, and she just delivered a very, very nice present. Aubrey was the person that was nice enough to do a caricature of me for our 1,000th show. I'm going to try to show this to the viewing audience at home. So Aubrey brought me, this is very, very sweet, and I just want to say thank you. So I'll hold it like this. So she brought me that, which is so very nice.
What do you know about that, Brother
Murphy?
Murphy?
You see that there, Ken?
I do.
How about
that's
that?
That's very nice.
Looks just like you, Mr. Murphy.
Well, you know what I told her, RJ? I said this caricature looks a lot handsomer than me, and Aubrey said, yes, it does.
She got the beard right, I'll say that.
Yeah, that's salt and pepper. That's exactly right. So I so appreciate that, Ms. Aubrey, and thank you so much for spending your afternoons with us. We appreciate each and every one of you. Hey, Ken?
Yes, sir.
If you had to say who was the most polarizing caller on the afternoon show, does anybody come to mind? Anybody?
Brother Mike in Old Hickory.
And looky who is here. Line 2, it's Mike in Old Hickory. And I think we've got just enough time to slip the old fella in. Mike, good afternoon.
How you doing, Matt?
I'm well, Mike. How does it feel that when people bring you up, much like, Mike, I think there's a kinship here, because when people bring on Matt Murphy up, they either love him or hate him. They either love you or hate you, Mike.
Well, it's about facts. We're looking at historical facts and what's going on in the world today, not nincompoops.
Okay.
And people are stuffing baseballs in their bras.
Uh-huh.
That's not what the world is about.
Hey, I'm losing your volume there, Mike. Is that?
I only got a little time left.
Yeah.
Donald Trump just blew away 2 Iranian tankers, engines and propellers, huge tankers.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that today?
I did.
He just moved a chess piece. He moved a chess piece. He blew away those 2 huge tankers going somewhere, and guess what? They're going nowhere. So you need to kind of watch it, Matt, that, Trump ain't as dumb and stupid that Democrats think he is.
Well, Donald Trump is looking to draw down that conflict in the Middle East as best he can, and I still have faith that we will be able to accomplish our major 2 goals. Goal number 1 is to get some general stability in the Middle East by just decimating their military capabilities and their monetary capabilities to fund terrorism. That's number 1. Number 2, we got to get the enriched uranium, and that's a tougher task, Mike. It's a tougher task to suggest that we can go in and get that enriched uranium, but we have to do that if we want to accomplish our goals right now.
Yep, and that's a total agreement, and that's what Trump is doing. He gave Iran a 1-page deal, and if they don't agree to it, Iran's going to say, oh, we need a 2-page deal, and we'll keep discussing it, and we'll keep going down the road. I think right now what's going on is because we just blew away 2 of their tankers.
Yeah.
We didn't kill the tankers. We just killed their ability to deliver them. And so here's what's going to happen.
Hey, no, Mike, I've got to tell you something in the 4 seconds that I've got left. You ready? Have a great weekend, Mike. Take care. That's Mike in Old Hickory. 2 hours down, 2 to go. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got a major traffic issue north of Nashville. 24 westbound is shut down in Montgomery County between exit 1 and the Kentucky state line. That's due to a crash. We've got the full forecast. Another traffic update here in 5 minutes. A cyber attack targeting Canvas, a major grading and assignment hub for students here in Tennessee and across the nation. The hacking group now demanding these schools pay up or else it will release millions of pages of information. ABC's Sophie Flay with more.
Shiny Hunters is threatening to release the data May 12th unless it's paid an unspecified ransom. It claims it has several billions of private messages among students and teachers. The parent company of Canvas says the hackers access student names, emails, ID numbers, and messages, but not their passwords, birthdays, or financial information.
President Trump announcing what he describes as a 3-day ceasefire in the Russia-Ukraine war starting tomorrow.
Russia and Ukraine have agreed to this brief 3-day ceasefire this weekend over Russia's Victory Day holiday when Vladimir Putin holds a huge military parade on Moscow's Red Square. The Kremlin was worried Ukraine might attack the parade after President Trump pressed Ukraine. President Zelensky tonight agreed to no attacks on condition that Russia free 1,000 POWs. But there's no reason to believe that Putin will extend the ceasefire after the holiday. Patrick Reevell, ABC News, London.
And the U.S. expecting Iran's response to its peace proposal sometime today. Redistricting battles. Republicans in Alabama approving plans for new primary elections if courts allow GOP-drawn House districts to be used in the November midterms. And right now in Nashville, 2 lawsuits have been filed to block the new congressional map that could give Republicans a 9th majority by splitting up Memphis into 3 districts. And the Virginia Supreme Court has struck down the maps that could have given Democrats up to 4 additional U.S. House seats. The CDC confirming it will deploy staff to the Canary Islands ahead of the arrival of the cruise ship MV Honduras. The ship is under scrutiny after a possible cluster of hantavirus infections. Those Americans going to be transported to the National Quarantine Unit in Nebraska. Here's former White House COVID response coordinator, Dr. Ashish Shah.
I'm concerned about the people on the boat. I'm not concerned about everybody else. This is not going to turn out to be some pandemic.
And artificial intelligence has become the top cause of U.S. layoffs for the second straight month, according to Challenger, Gray, and Christmas. More than 21,000 jobs were cut in April due to AI. Overall job cuts rose sharply as companies close operations or trim costs amid economic uncertainty. Analysts say even when AI doesn't replace workers directly, it often replaces the money once budgeted for them. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. crashes, and it has closed 24 westbound between Clarksville, Trenton, and the Kentucky state line. Belmont area, a crash. 65 northbound at Wedgwood Avenue. 40 westbound past the Centerville-Dixon exit 172. 440 eastbound at Murphy Road. A stalled vehicle blocking the right shoulder, 440 westbound past Hillsboro Pike. And then a crash in Murphreesboro. Left shoulder block, 24 westbound before Joby Jackson Parkway. Also in Murphreesboro, still showing a crash, off-ramp partially blocked, 24 eastbound to Medical Center Parkway. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN, halfway home, and we'll call it a weekend. Many of you already calling it a weekend. It's after 5 o'clock after all. We're at Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. If you're just getting off into your automobile, stop by and see us if you're Murphreesboro way. That's the location where we are. 7 separate locations to serve you at Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. Trey Hartsook was on with us earlier, and he rattled them off. I can't do that, but they're everywhere, man. They're in Bellevue. They're in Mount Juliet. They're in Hendersonville. Wait a minute. Maybe I can rattle them off. They're Nashville, Bellevue, Hendersonville, Mount Juliet, Franklin, Murphreesboro. I'm missing one. But one way or the other, there's 7 separate locations. Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply is the host today, and we appreciate them. We're here till 7 o'clock tonight. All right, a couple of pieces that I need to put a bow on, and then we'll get to more of your telephone calls. It is, after all, a First Amendment Freestyle Friday. Coming up at 5:35 or thereabouts, we've got nincompoops in the news. Ken Weaver will compete. It is a friendly, like they say in soccer. It's a friendly today, but every victory matters. It's RJ versus Ken versus Murphy. We'll go mano a mano at Nincompoops in the News coming up at 5:35 today. At 6:05 today, Johnny Garrett will join us to discuss the week that was the special session in the Tennessee General Assembly. You on the phones until then, 615-737-9986, 615-737-9986. Thanks again to Aubrey for stopping by. And she says, it was a pleasure to meet you and Chris Hand this afternoon. I appreciate you more after watching your work on the radio. Thank you for being so kind. And then she said, and Roll Tide. And I responded to Aubrey. You'll like this, Ken. This is as good as I got. You ready?
Yes, sir.
You'll like. I said, thank you, Aubrey. And I would never say Roll Tide to anyone. But if I did, I would say it to you. I mean, that's it. I feel like
that's a good way to put it, Brother Murphy.
I think that's fair, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Ken, I feel that way about you. I would never say Boomer Sooner to anyone. But if I did, I'd say it to Ken Weaver.
Yeah.
Hey, you can always sing Dixieland Delight.
Yeah. Well, there's a big discussion about Alabama stealing that song from. I mean, like, I'm not in. My name's Bennett, and I ain't in it. But like, Bama and Tennessee fans fight over that song because Bama plays it, because a band by the name of Alabama sang it and made it famous. But it does mention Tennessee quite a lot in the song. It does.
Certainly does.
There's RJ just stepped right in the big debate about Dixieland Delight and whose song that belongs to.
As long as I'm filling in for Jackson, I'm causing all the chaos.
And well, I don't. Well, was that a Jackson impersonation that I heard there, RJ? I kind of like that.
I can do my Jackson impersonation.
We need a little more Southern grandma, and you'll have it.
Yeah.
I'm the king of nincompoops.
There you. Yeah. See. There you go. I see a little direction in there. He has it. I'm the king of nincompoops. All right, I'm going to be accused of being a nincompoop if I don't get back to the phones. I do have to. One thing, real quick, Ken, have you seen this fire out of Henry, Tennessee?
Yeah, man, big old plastics plant is on fire, and it's been on fire for a couple of hours now. Well, several hours now.
Smoke just billowing out
showing
of this
up on radar.
Yes, out of this plastics facility. Henry, Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken, just to the south and a little to the west of Paris, Tennessee. I believe that's right. Small little community there to the north and to the west of Nashville. So if I'm looking on the map here, and if you think of Nashville on the map, more west to the north. And so, almost just directly west, just north of I-40, north of Jackson, and McKenzie's in that neck of the woods. Anyway, there's a huge plastics fire that is impacting traffic and just generally speaking the surroundings over there. So hopefully everybody is safe and sound, and hopefully those firefighters get that under control in a safe and timely fashion. 615-737-9986. Our telephone number, and if you want to be a part of the show, that's the number you dial up. MC has done just that, and MC joins us next on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, MC. Hope you're doing well, buddy.
I'm doing well, Mr. Murphy.
Yes, sir.
And I've spoken to two people who have traveled down Highway US 79 between Paris and McKenzie, and that fire, I used to know a guy, he's deceased now, he used to work in that plant. That fire is going to burn till it probably. And it's been going on, and it's toxic, but, what are you going to do about it? It's, it's an industry. And in Henry, Tennessee, very interesting place. It produces a lot of pork through Tosh and bacon by Gosh. But I didn't call to talk about that. I called to talk about the redistricting and how the Republicans might have put a time bomb in there.
All right.
Because they took the 5th up, and it's over there near Henry. They took the 5th up Tennessee 22 into Ned Ray McWhorter country and over toward Union City and then down 51, I think. And there's a lot of blue dogs over there, and there's a few yellow dogs that still exist over there. And talk about white people, to throw it out there to Justin. But you never know. You still got to get out and campaign. But they did the right thing. I found the more heroic events happened in Montgomery, our old hometown, yours and mine, where they worked through tornado warnings.
Yeah, they did. I saw that. I had a few of my friends texting me saying that it got a little hairy there for a minute, but they were bound and determined to get some of their work done. I'm a bit surprised that they're not going for the whole enchilada and trying to get 7 seats. I think their breakdown is a little different than ours in Tennessee. I think they have a few more concentrated Democrat communities that might make it difficult to get 7 to nothing. But they'll get a seat. I think they'll get a seat.
Well, I mean, you got Birmingham, Montgomery, Mobile, and then to the west of
what's known as the black. I mean, it's known as the black belt.
It's known as the black belt because of the soil.
Right.
But it led to cotton planting, and there's a significant number of descendants of former slaves there who tend to vote Democrat, as you and I know.
Right.
But anyway, it's very interesting dynamic, but they still got to get out and campaign. And I want to say something about your most significant caller, Mike from Old Hickory. He is amazing to me. He just a few weeks ago, he was, I don't know, what do you want to say, saying that Donald Trump was a pedophile or whatever, or Epstein files and all this stuff. And yet today he pointed out that he was a great military leader. Well, we've got to convince voters, if he can vote, to, vote the right way.
Mm-hmm.
And there's one right way. And by the way, I love Mount Pleasant. A guy that was kind of my adopted grandpa was from there. And he was a mentor to me, and it can be an interesting place, but also knew a tremendous crack dealer and a big-time heroin dealer from there. So, and I'm not lying, man. I want to say one last thing about, this is anecdotal, but I want to talk about transgender. On December 31st of 1978, before the Iranian hostage conflict, whatever.
Yeah.
I found myself standing near, as Night told, next to a beautiful transgender person who was an entertainment person in Nashville, and she planted a big old midnight kiss on me.
Mm.
And wait for the
Lola?
punchline.
Lola?
No, it was. I'm not making it up, man. I don't even call her name. I will call her girlfriend next to me. Then kissed me and tried to bite my tongue off.
Oh,
so that's what happens. Yeah, thank you. That's lesbian jealousy at its worst.
Yikes.
You have a great day and vote conservative.
Thank you very much, MC. That ended on a very, very interesting note. That's an interesting story there. I thought we were leading into a Lola joke. Thank you, MC, for the call. I appreciate it. 615-737-9986. I can't understand how she walked like a woman but talked like a man. The Kinks were ahead of the curve with the Lola song. 17 after the hour. He mentioned, MC mentioned his grandfather, and, I've not mentioned my grandpa today. I threw this out on social media and got a lot of reaction from it. You guys know that I believe my grandfather is the finest man to ever walk the face of the earth, and I know most of y'all feel the same way about your grandpa or your dad or maybe your mom or whatever it might be, but I firmly believe that about my grandfather, and I would not be, for better or worse, the person that I am today without him. And he would have been 97 years old today. May 8th was his birthday. He died in 2015 at the age of 86. I would say about 85 of those years were just some of the finest years you could ever ask for walking the face of the earth. He was one of the hardest things that I ever did was to deliver my grandfather's eulogy because I wanted to honor him, and at the same time I had to hold it together. And, oftentimes, it's a fool's errand to try to do that, and it was for me too. But I was determined to speak about the man that I knew and to honor him in the best way that I knew how. And I'm just thinking about him today. Would have been 97 years of age, died at the age of 86. And like I say, most of those years were just fine years. My grandfather was never a man of means and did not necessarily want to be, but he was the richest man on planet Earth because he never knew somebody that he did not call friend. And he was just a good man and taught me incredible values. And I've told many of those stories over the years about he taught me the values that I needed in life that my father was not going to be there to teach me. And when I was, I'll just say this because I won't get into it's a weekend. We're going to have a good time for the rest of the show. But I'll say my dad, my mother had a malignant brain tumor in 1978. I was 5 years old, and my father left because he, quote unquote, couldn't handle it. That was the line that I was always told, that your dad said he couldn't handle your mother's illness. And so he left his wife and 3 children and just went away. And for a long time in my childhood and for a long time even into my 20s, I was very, very angry at my father. And I was angry at him for leaving Mama, obviously. I was angry at him for leaving us. But it took a certain level of maturity for me to recognize the impact that my grandfather and my grandmother had in my life. And then by extension, to realize that had it not been for my father's actions, I would have never had that influence in my life. And so, in a way, and this was the way that I found forgiveness and developed a very positive relationship with my dad later on, because I was very angry at him. I blamed him and chose to blame him for every little bad thing that happened in my life. It was always my dad's fault. And I felt like I was looking at it exactly wrong. I came to the conclusion that I was coming at this from a very, very negative and viewpoint. When in fact, the way that I should be looking at it is that my dad did the best thing that he could for me, and I love my dad to death. My dad's no longer with us. He died at the age of 71 in the same year that my grandpa died in 2015. So I'm not saying this as a negative toward my dad. I'm just saying it because it's real. That the best thing to ever happen to me was my father leaving my family, because it introduced my grandfather in a way that he became my dad. And he taught me values and life lessons and how to treat other people and how to expect to be treated in your life in a way that I never would have learned had it not been for that incredibly negative moment at the age of 5. So happy birthday to my pa. Love you. And, gosh, I hope that I get to see you soon. I trust that I will. 21 after the hour. I'll get to your calls momentarily. We're at Dickens Surf and Landscape Supply. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy. Tennessee Men's Clinic has several locations to serve you. I want to focus on a little north of Nashville because maybe many of you have not heard, but they opened up a Clarksville location several months ago, and they want to see you in Clarksville. Now, you call one number and you decide which clinic you need to speak with and which clinic you need to set up an appointment with. Either Cool Springs, which is just south of the city, right there in Midtown in Nashville, Tennessee, or in Clarksville, just up the road. And, friends, they offer the same incredible and quality service at each location. What do? They are a qualified urologist team, and they're going to provide you, men, with a comprehensive examination to figure out what's going on in your life. If you've noticed something's, different, maybe you're just getting into your 40s or maybe even your 50s, and you've noticed that you've lost motivation, energy, or drive, and perhaps that's even manifesting itself in the bedroom. I'm not here to get in your personal business, but I'm telling you, it's 2026. It's not 1976. You don't just have to accept, oh, this is the way it is, and go on with your life. You can do something about it. There are modern techniques and medical approaches to help you, specific to your situation. Is it testosterone? Maybe. If that's the case, they can handle it at the Tennessee Men's Clinic. Jiffy Quick, whatever it might be, allow them to develop an action plan and a solution for you. It's all about you at the Tennessee Men's Clinic. Go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com, TennesseeMen'sClinic.com, or give them a call at 615-208-9090, 208-9090 for the Tennessee Men's Clinic. Hey, and that
Cyber attack targeting a major assignment hub for students in Tennessee and across the nation just weeks or even days before finals set to begin. This coming up at 5:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Crazy. Yo. Oh, hello. Good thing I stopped back by. Thank you, RJ. How are you? It is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I was yoing RJ because I was about to ask him how much longer we had, and then I heard the music in the background. I was like, oh, that long. Oh, well, that's great.
I got you covered, Matt.
Oh, man, you're a good man, RJ. You're doing a great job back at home base. Ken Weaver's doing a fine job back there as well. And I'm just sitting around Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply enjoying life. And I want to remind all of you, you folks out there that are weekend warriors, we appreciate you. We talk about the weekend often, and with good reason. It's nice to have a couple of days of rest and relaxation. But those of you that are on the beat over the course of the weekend, you police officers, you firefighters, EMTs. I mean, we got firefighters battling a blaze up in Henry, Tennessee right now. You doctors and nurses, you restaurateurs, you folks that work the counters, that work the convenience stores, you weekend warrior truck drivers, all of you folks out there that are weekend warriors, we want to say thank you for helping make our weekends special. We appreciate you, and we thank you. 615-737-9986. It's Jerry's turn. Jerry's calling from Murphreesboro. Jerry, I got a question for you.
Yes.
Where are you at? We're in Murphreesboro. Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. You coming by?
Well, I'm stuck on 24 right now, but
Oh no. Well, then that's a no, Jerry. Then if you're on 24, you're not going anywhere anytime soon. It's 5:30 on a Friday.
Yeah, right.
All
And
right.
I always liked the story about your grandpa with at the table with the free lunches at school. That was a good story.
Oh man,
too.
no, I'll tell that story later on. That's a good one. Yes, sir.
Yeah. But I'm worried about the Republic with this redistricting. I don't understand. I mean, I know we're going to have to do a constitutional amendment to change it, but why can't every state just do it like Iowa, where you make it as close to squares as possible, even by population, legal population, and that way we don't have all these fiefdoms, because we know that once the congressmen get in there, it's 98% chance they're never going to lose. When you make it more easier for them, and that's all this is, and it's Republican and Democrat. That's why we have to do it evenly, and we have to do a constitutional amendment, and that to me is going to save the Republic. But this is just going to polarize us more and more.
So you think this is leading to? I'm curious. You mentioned constitutional amendment. So you think this is ultimately leading to the possibility that we'll see a change in the Constitution that prescribes a specific way that we draw district lines?
That's correct, yes. And it has to do because Republicans, that kind of a change would come from the Republicans, but they're not going to do it because the Democrats wouldn't do it. So you have to make it evenly for all the states to do that. You see what I'm saying?
No, I do. You know what I think is probably more likely? I mean, I'd be willing to entertain the idea that we might get there somewhere down the road. I think before we get there, you would see a congressional act that would preclude the states, and this might take this might take an amendment. I don't know if the federal government could take this over on its own without some sort of broader authority. But what you might see is a prevention of redistricting between the census first, so as to stop, just to prevent, the constant redrawing of the district lines. Make sense?
And you said something earlier too, though, and I have my Constitution in my back pocket, and I'm driving right now. But I thought that it did say that it was you do the redistricting after the census on the 0 odd years, the 2010, 2020, so on. That's when I thought that you do it.
Well, I think, and I don't have it in front of me, and my constitutional scholar friends in the audience will immediately correct me if I get it wrong. I know that. But I think the Constitution speaks to the purpose of the census. The purpose of the census is to redraw congressional districts, but I don't know that it specifically says that there cannot be redrawing between every 10-year census. I'd have to look at it.
Yeah, I agree. But I when you mentioned that earlier, I thought, I kind of thought the same thing. Like, well, why are we doing it? It should be after. I was reading it as after the census. That's the whole point of the census, is you redraw the maps.
Well, it's an interesting, those smarter than me and more eloquent than me will write books about the mass awakening amongst conservative elected officials that they have the same opportunity to do what Democrats have been doing for the last 40 years. And it feels like they've just awoken to that fact over the last 3 or 4 years to fight fire with fire.
Oh, I totally understand. Like I said, I mean, they're doing it, within the legal bounds. I just think it's, in terms of the republic, we have to stop both of them from doing this and make it fair to us, the people.
Well, I mean, I would agree. And Jerry, thank you for your call. I'm a little bit late for the bottom of the hour news. It's about 5:31, but I do appreciate you calling. And be safe out there on I-24. It's a danger zone out there. Thanks for your call. 615-737-9986. I would say that I would not be against necessarily a provision within the law that would give you that 2-year window post-census to make the redrawing of the lines and to preclude some of the other stuff because, I'm not against what's going on right now. We're operating under the rules, and Republicans have just caught wind of what Democrats have been doing for a long time. And the reason the Democrats would do it and Republicans were loath to respond is because the Democrats felt like they had the Voting Rights Act on their side because they developed this voting bloc of black voters, and they would bludgeon any Republican that dare say anything about how they redrew the lines by suggesting that they're being politically racist in their response to the lines that the Democrats wanted. Even in red states, they would do this. I watched it happen in Alabama over the years. 615-737-9986, 33 after the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. A cyber attack targeting a major assignment hub for students in Tennessee and across the nation just weeks or even days before finals. ABC's Sophie Flay with the latest.
A hacking group has claimed responsibility for shutting down Canvas. That's a platform used by more than half the colleges and universities in the country, as well as grade schools, for coursework in communication. The hacking group Shiny Hunters posting a ransom letter claiming it's obtained access to data for more than 275 million people across nearly 9,000 schools.
President Trump says a 3-day ceasefire in the war between Russia and Ukraine starts tomorrow. The pause tied to Russia's Victory Day commemorations includes an exchange of 1,000 prisoners from each side. And the U.S. says it's expecting Iran's response to its peace proposal sometime today. Right now in Tennessee, 2 lawsuits have been filed to block the new congressional map that could give Republicans a 9th majority by splitting up Memphis into 3 districts. The NAACP filed in Chancery Court in Nashville yesterday, Tennessee Democratic Party in federal court today. And the CDC confirms it will deploy staff to the Canary Islands ahead of the arrival of the hantavirus cruise ship. 19 Americans on board are going to be transported to the National Quarantine Unit in Nebraska. Here's former White House COVID response coordinator Dr. Ashish Jha.
I'm concerned about the people on the boat. I'm not concerned about everybody else. This is not going to turn out to be some pandemic.
AI is reshaping the workforce and accelerating job cuts across the country. A new report finds artificial intelligence was responsible for over a quarter of all layoffs in April, the biggest single driver. The tech industry led the losses as companies invest heavily in automation. Experts say while AI is displacing some jobs now, it could also create entirely new roles in the future. That's the latest news, weather, and traffic next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. 24 westbound is still shut down in Montgomery County between Clarksville and the Kentucky state line because of a crash. Other crashes, Belmont, 65 northbound at Wedgwood. 24 westbound before Epps Mill Road in Christiana. You've got the right shoulder blocked there. In Dixon, 40 westbound past Centerville, Dixon, exit 172. Sylvan Park, 440 eastbound at Murphy Road. Murphreesboro, 24 westbound before Joe B. Jackson Parkway. I'm Ken Weaver.
One of the first calls, I made numerous calls when I bought my house, and you hear me talking about some of those calls that I made to USS, our foundation folks, and many, many others. But one of the first calls I also made was to Better Water LLC. They sent Robert down to me, and I could not be happier with the results. One of the things that we talk about when we talk about Better Water is just allow them to come to your home, and at no obligation to you, check your water out. See what's going on. Do you have hard water? We always hear that term. They can even explain to you what hard water is, which is what Robert did for me. But they can also test for sulfur and iron, chlorine, bacteria, and even nastier things like E. coli. And if you have any of these things, unfortunately, we have quote-unquote acceptable levels of that in our water. It can affect your cooking. It can affect your bathing, and it certainly can affect your drinking water. And if you've got any of these issues, you need a big old Brita water filter for your house, and that's where Better Water comes in. They've been doing it since 1971, folks. 55 years of service to this community, located locally in Middle Tennessee, and they cover residential and commercial as well as industrial customers, and half for that length of time. Their service to their employees is the number one goal, and to their customers, their number one goal, and they want to make sure they maintain that. So just give them a call. I'm telling you, let them check you out to see what's going on with your water. 615-355-6063, 355-6063, betterwater.com. That's Better Water LLC. Super Talk 99.7 WTN, Matt Murphy Show in progress. Thank you for being with us. It is about 20 minutes until 6 o'clock, and we've got another hour after that. It's almost nincompoops in the news time. We're at Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. Thank you for stopping by. If you have, Joe stopped by and said hello to us. Joe was asking me about Dan's second grandchild, and I don't know. I don't know the status. I haven't talked to Mandis in a month of Sundays. It feels weird we haven't spoken in a while, but I guess I saw him. We recorded Mostly Peaceful, our podcast that drops tomorrow a.m. on our YouTube channel. Find out more about that by going over to the YouTube side of things, Supertalk 99.7 WTN. Like, subscribe, and you'll get download information when those things drop. But great episode this week, by the way, from Chris Hand, Matt Murphy, and Dan Mandis to you. But I've not heard as to exactly when that's going to be. Look who's wearing the crown. Joseph, you deserve it, Joseph, with everything you're doing today. Are you going to stay with me till 7, or are you leaving early? You got dinner plans. Well, who's packing up all the stuff? It's like they don't let me touch things, Joseph. I don't know who told you that I'm allowed to touch electronic equipment, but it's just not true. Joseph's going to figure out which mic is hot. You got it? You got it? There we go. There we go.
There we go.
You were publicly educated in Tennessee, weren't you?
Yeah.
It's hard to count to 5.
Yeah, hard.
I'm just being salty.
I went to a magnet school, so I should be able to count to at least 5.
You? Did you? Oh, no.
I was a valedictorian.
What?
One of 55.
It's one of those schools where everybody's a winner.
No,
Everybody gets a trophy.
No, everyone is just insanely smart. Central Magnet, right down the road from here.
Why in the world would they accept you in a magnet school? What were you bringing to the
My
table?
dad taught there.
I love this level of honesty. That's pretty good. So you're leaving at 6? You got dinner plans? Where are you going?
This little all-you-can-eat Japanese buffet down the road.
You just made these dinner plans like 90 seconds ago, didn't you?
No, we made them. We made them actually before we left the house today.
Weaver, he literally looked out the window and just read the first sign that he saw on the highway.
It's called Waco.
That's his dinner plan.
Pretty good. All you can eat sushi.
I heard I'm supposed to go to Toots if I'm in Murphreesboro.
Ooh, yeah, it's right down the road. You should. It's really good.
That's a good place, Toots. Yeah.
You like old Toots?
That Toots not bad at all.
Can I get a cold beer in Toots or not?
You can get a cold beer.
You get a lot of cold beer in Toots.
Okay, well there you go.
Ken, have you ever been to that Waco here on Broad Street?
I have not.
It's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Waco.
I mean, it's Tennessee sushi. It's as good as it's gonna get. But
I feel like we need to make a radio love connection. I feel weird. Joseph lives in Murphreesboro. He's the sports guru in the afternoons.
Yep.
At 104.5 The Zone. Ken Weaver's the news guru on Super Talk 99.7. Ken lives in Murphreesboro.
Yep.
Why have you two not gotten together?
Because of traffic.
Yeah, traffic. It's especially on this road around. This road out here gets bad.
Any intersection, there's 3,000 cars in front of you.
Also, the other problem is when I leave the station, it's at 6 o'clock. When Ken leaves the station, it's closer to 7 o'clock, and then we're both in traffic for an hour and a half.
Right.
And so by the time we get home, we're just tired, and we'll go home.
And you just want to, war clean out. I have long said, for those that don't live in Tennessee, they say, man, Nashville people complain more about the traffic than anybody I've ever met. And I said, you need to meet somebody from Murphreesboro.
Yes, you do.
Have you ever driven through a school zone? Well, it's 10 times worse in the city of Murphreesboro.
Oh, don't.
Why is it 10 times worse?
It just is. I don't know. It's like a law or something.
Everybody takes their kids to school. So you've got cars backed up for miles.
I'm telling you.
It might take someone like half an hour to get through a school zone that's 200 feet long.
Yes.
Y'all really need to lobby the city council to change the slogan of Murphreesboro to Murphreesboro.
Actually,
we're full.
I think they need to make more tree-lined medians.
I think they should up the school zone speed limit to like 30 miles an hour.
Yeah,
just
too.
Double it. Get us through.
Double it.
We might be through in 15 minutes.
If any officials in Murphreesboro are listening to me right now, get rid of the tree-lined medians. That's about 4 lanes.
Oh, so you want more pavement where the trees currently are?
Absolutely.
Put the trees on the side of the road, not in the middle of the road.
Okay. All
But
right.
Ken, what about the environment?
Ken Weaver just does the news. But I'll say, to hell with that environment.
Yes.
We got to get where we're going.
Yes.
Amen. Divided highway, my butt. Put more lanes in there and let's go. Speaking of going, it's time, 45 after the hour, for Nincompoops in the News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Nincompoops in the News.
All right, here we go. It is a friendly Nincompoops in the News today between yours truly, Matt Murphy, RJ, back at home base, controlling the experience, making sure that everything that comes out of our speaker sounds as good as humanly possible. And then young Ken Weaver, he's back in news closet to be. I am honored to be able to pick the order because I secured back at home base the Nincompoops trophy for the week. First time in 2026, Ken. I know you're not
That's
happy
way to go,
for
Brother
me,
Murphy. No,
but
I'm
thank you.
happy for you, man.
Well, I appreciate it. I needed it. I needed a victory in 2026. It was getting ridiculous, Ken.
It's all a conspiracy.
Jackson's doppelganger thinks it's a conspiracy. Well, this is no conspiracy. I'm going to allow RJ to go second, directly following Matt Murphy. Murphy goes first, RJ second. Ken Weaver pulls up the rear on Nincompoops today. Oh, Ken, you'll be just fine.
All right.
Because I can't imagine. My Nincompooп in the News is actually an update on a previous Nincompoop in the News, and it has to do with literally a man who we were waiting on to poop. Here's an update on a career criminal who was arrested for stealing and then swallowing $770,000 worth of Tiffany and Company diamonds. That individual has rejected a plea deal which was offered by prosecutors and has decided to represent himself at trial. I think it was my good friend Jay St. Clair who once told me, first time I'd heard this phrase, that those who choose to represent themselves at a trial has a fool for a client.
Yeah.
At a recent circuit court appearance, a judge granted Jathan Gilder's request to waive his right to counsel in the burglary and grand theft case. While Gilder's attorney was discharged as his regular counsel, the court appointed a public defender's officer as a standby counsel available for consultation. Gilder, a 33-year-old Texas resident, has been locked up without bond since his arrest last year for stealing 2 sets of solitaire diamond earrings worth roughly $609,500 and $160,000 apiece from the Tiffany and Company outlet in Orlando, Florida. As detailed in the pages of the arrest affidavit, Gilder was arrested 6 hours after the heist as he traveled on a Florida interstate about 300 miles from Orlando. He was getting the heck out of Dodge, y'all.
Yeah.
Investigators believe that Gilder was driving his rented Mitsubishi Outlander back to his Houston residence. After being yanked out of the vehicle by Florida Highway Patrol officers, Gilder, at the time, allegedly swallowed the stolen diamonds. He subsequently asked police, "Am I going to be charged with what's in my stomach?" By the way, the answer to that question is yes.
Yeah, yes, sir, you are.
Yes,
That's
sir, you will be. While sitting in the back of the squad car, Gilder, obviously with an upset tummy, said, quote, "I guess I should have thrown them out the window." A police scan revealed that Gilder's stomach contained, quote, "foreign objects." 2 weeks under police guard at a Florida hospital. That's right. They waited. They were very patient. And eventually, Mr. Gilder passed the stolen Tiffany merchandise. Now, it's at this point in the story that, as I said last time we did this nincompoop story, diamonds cut anything, right? I mean,
usually.
You know, I mean, diamonds are one of the hardest substances on planet Earth. And I feel like diamonds would go through intestines. I just don't think it would be very pleasant, fellas.
No,
I don't
sir.
think it'd be
That
very
might
good.
give you a stomach ache.
Yeah, that would give you a bellyache. Unclear what kind of defense Gilder is planning on mounting, since the evidence against him is devastating. Obviously, they've got X-ray detection equipment to present as evidence. Oddly, after passing the stolen Tiffany merchandise, his poop also contained 2 other earrings, which were not a part of the Tiffany haul. How that jewelry got inside Gilder is at present a mystery. Mr. Gilder is a literal nincompoop in the news.
Well, at least he can afford the lawyer.
I guess so. RJ, you're nincompoop, sir.
All right, so I'm coming off 2 times in a row giving stories that you guys already said on nincompoops. So I got one, and I checked it with Brother Ken to make sure it's original.
Well, no, I said you need to check it and make sure it's original.
RJ, we're just going to be quiet and let you do your story, and the voters will decide.
All right. Well, Florida man arrested for public intoxication uses his last phone call to call his family on his shoe.
What?
So a Florida man was arrested for public intoxication after trying to call his family using his shoe when given one last chance by police. The story started in Coral Springs when a man named Charles Strom they called 911 on him because he was in a parking lot, stripped naked, and attempting to bang a piece of plywood.
Whew. Nice.
When officers arrived, they found signs of him being extremely intoxicated. He stumbled through an alleyway, ran into a street in front of moving cars, and forced one driver to swerve off the road to avoid hitting him, all the while still holding on to his piece of plywood.
My goodness gracious.
He was later detained as he approached more parked cars, and speaking with the police, when he was asked if he could contact a family member, he picked up one of the shoes that he had stripped out of and started talking into it as though it were a cell phone.
Nice. Maybe he thought he was, Agent Smart.
Agent 86 of Control?
Get Smart. Yeah, maybe he thought he had one of those fancy shoe phones, and maybe we can give him a cone of silence.
Maybe. Police determined that he was a danger to others, citing previous repeated attempts to run into traffic after being detained, and he is now awaiting trial.
Well, good luck with all of that. He is certainly a nincompoop. Ken Weaver, you're a nincompoop.
Good thing you didn't have a pay shoe.
No.
Where would he stick the quarters?
Exactly. Wanted woman found hiding under a blanket during a Cheatham County traffic stop. News 2 says a woman with a long history of DUIs and wanted for crimes in 3 Middle Tennessee counties is back behind bars in Ashland City. Cheatham County deputies patrolling Highway 41A made a traffic stop on a white Chevrolet Impala. When they looked in the back of the vehicle, they found the main suspect, later identified as 42-year-old Nina Putty, under a blanket. Lieutenant Shane Dunning with the Cheatham County Sheriff's Office said, it was a shocking moment because they had been conducting business for some time, and you've got someone laying in the back seat covered up. There was a lot of things that could have happened. Deputies later came to learn that the woman hiding under the blanket was Putty. According to the arrest affidavit, when deputies asked Putty her name, she lied and gave the name of a dead woman. She gave a false name, and we were like, hey, we know who you are. You are wanted in 3 counties. According to the affidavit, while deputies were trying to put Putty in the back of the patrol car, she did not comply. She used her feet to kick open the door. It was at this point that deputies learned she had managed to get out of her handcuffs.
Oh, no.
That's when she tried to escape again, and deputies had to forcefully take her down to the ground. News 2 says it has looked into the 42-year-old's arrest history, which is extensive, including in Nashville, where she received her 3rd DUI. And according to arrest documents, she was found in the middle of the intersection at Briley Parkway and Dickerson Pike back in 2018. The affidavit said there was a bottle of vodka and pills in plain sight. When asked to take a field sobriety test, Putty reportedly began screaming, "I'm effed up! Just take me to jail!" The arrest document said the woman then refused to walk or get into the police car. The affidavit said Putty's car had a license plate that matched another car. She was driving on a suspended license at the time. Our guys did an outstanding job, and I'll say this to everyone in the law enforcement community. Don't ever let your guard down. Always be on your toes. Start at the bumper and go to the rear bumper, and when you do a search, make sure it is thorough, Dunning said.
Oh, my goodness.
So at the time of this story, Putty was still in the Cheatham County Jail.
Well, I suppose she would. She's going to be there for some time because you know what? She's effed up.
Yeah, yes, sir, she is.
According to her. I mean, well, that's how we do it,
Hopefully,
fellas.
Miss Putty gets some help.
I know. We want to get her. Maybe she could represent herself at trial.
There you go.
That's how we play it. That's how Nincompoops in the News works. Hit that sounder there, RJ, as we walk ourselves out of here. At Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You can vote for RJ. You can vote for Ken Weaver. I'll bring the crown and the trophy back for next week as I'm the current possessor of the crown.
Are you going to wear the crown, Brother Murphy?
What now?
Are you going to wear the crown?
Yeah, I'm wearing it right now, Ken.
All right.
Got it on right here.
There it is. Yes,
there it is. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Back with Johnny Garrett coming up right after the top of the hour news, and the top of the hour news comes after this on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, friends, I've got a date that I want to remind you of happening at the end of this month. It's May 30th, the big open house at the Glock store. Someone asked me yesterday, how big is this thing? It's huge. Folks line up before the doors open at 10 a.m. because they want to be a part of the incredible raffle, the incredible sale at the Glock store. I mean, they got great prices on just about everything within the store. It is a gift back to the city of Nashville. Lenny McGill tells us that he has loved being in Nashville since he moved here some 5 or 6 years ago. I don't know exactly when it was, but I know this. People absolutely love the shop. It is the top gun store in the Southeast, if not in the United States of America. That's how good it is. And it's even better on their open house day. From 10 until 2, they will give away over $50,000 worth of merchandise. All you have to do is be there and get into the raffle, and you will win. I promise you. Odds are you're going to win something over the course of 4 hours. They've got food trucks. They've got all manner of different prizes and games galore. It's the Glock Store Open House, May 30th. Mark your calendar down and be there on Airlane Drive, just off of Elm Hill Pike. Elm Hill Pike is just off of Briley Parkway, and Briley Parkway is convenient for the airport or anywhere else. It's the Glock Store online at glockstore.com.
6 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. And right now, tens of thousands of students in Tennessee and across the country expecting to take their university finals or just regular finals left in limbo after an apparent cyber attack targeted the popular assignment and grading hub Canvas, plunging dozens of campuses into the dark. ABC's Sophie Flay has more.
Several universities acknowledging the breach. Penn State now canceling some final exams. The University of Illinois postponing assignments and finals. Shiny Hunters is threatening to release the data May 12th unless it's paid an unspecified ransom. It claims it has several billions of private messages among students and teachers.
President Trump announcing a 3-day ceasefire in the war between Russia and Ukraine, scheduled to start tomorrow.
President Trump has hailed this short 3-day ceasefire as perhaps the beginning of the end of the war in Ukraine. But in reality, there's no reason to think that. Vladimir Putin had called for this brief pause in attacks for this weekend over Russia's Victory Day holiday when he holds a huge annual military parade on Red Square. The Kremlin was worried that Ukraine might attack that parade.
Yeah, and part of this ceasefire is the planned exchange of 1,000 prisoners from each side. U.S. expecting Iran's response to its peace proposal at some point today.
We have had a quote via Iranian state media from an Iranian official saying, quote, the clashes have now stopped and the atmosphere is calm. And that might be a sign, just might, that there is a bit of space now and hopefully for diplomacy to play its course.
That's Tom Sufi Burridge. Another lawsuit filed to block Tennessee's new congressional map, which could give Republicans a 9th majority seat by splitting Memphis into 3 districts. The NAACP filing suit in Nashville Chancery Court yesterday. Today, it was the Tennessee Democratic Party filing a separate lawsuit in federal court. And CDC officials say personnel headed to the Canary Islands this weekend to pick up the Americans on board that cruise ship with the hantavirus outbreak. American passengers going to be escorted to the National Quarantine Unit in Nebraska. Here's former White House COVID response coordinator Dr. Ashish Jha saying everyone needs to calm down.
I'm concerned about the people on the boat. I'm not concerned about everybody else. This is not going to turn out to be some pandemic. This is not a virus that spreads that easily. I think if you're sitting at home watching, you're going to be fine.
And new data shows artificial intelligence is driving a growing share of layoffs nationwide. Outplacement firm Challenger Gray and Christmas reporting AI was cited in more than 1/4 of April's job cuts. The technology sector saw the most losses as companies pivot spending away from workers and toward automation. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, friends, it's Matt Murphy for Eurofix. Eurofix, for 26 years, has been helping those of you who own European vehicles get back on the road when you need them. You know, one of the marks of a good parent is they warn their kids about danger, and that's what Eurofix has done for 26 years. Not only do they protect you on the highways and byways, but they also protect you from, well, let's just say more unscrupulous dealers. And they monitor themselves. They're self-aware, too. They police themselves. Eurofix, at one point, Aaron Stokes told me years ago, they wrote a check of over $5,000 to a customer, a refund check, because of a mistake that was made. Why did they do that? Because they want to tell you the full story, and they believe in you trusting them, they trust you, and they believe in a long-standing relationship at Eurofix. They don't cut corners at Eurofix. Now, you could pay for something you don't need, or you could go to Eurofix, making quality repairs at below dealer pricing since 1999. Get a free 15-minute no-wrench inspection, a 3-year, 36,000-mile nationwide warranty on all work that they repair at Eurofix. Go to myEurofix.com, myEurofix.com, or 844-EUROFIX for our friends at Eurofix.
All right, good news in Montgomery County. 24 westbound is now opened one lane, just the right lane that is blocked. That's due to that crash between Clarksville and the Kentucky state line. Still got a crash looking for Christiana here on the right shoulder, 24 westbound before Epps Mill Road. Bellevue got a crash now, Old Hickory Boulevard at Rocky Lane, and in Donaldson, McGavick Pike at Lebanon Pike. I'm Ken Weaver.
You got Johnny? Okay. Just let me know. All right, Super Talk 99.7 WTN, 8 minutes after 6 o'clock. Good evening. Welcome to your weekend. If you have a couple of days off, I hope you're able to rest and relax, spend some time with family and friends. If you're a weekend warrior, we appreciate that. We've got another hour to go before we'll call it a weekend on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. And my goodness, what a week it has been. A crazy week in the state of Tennessee. Tennessee making national headlines as the governor, and I'm going to, as they say, circle back to a conversation we were trying to have, I guess in the 3 o'clock hour, maybe in the early 4 o'clock hour regarding the governor. And giving the governor, we call it giving him some flowers, right? Because a lot of people give Governor Bill Lee hell for not being more forceful with certain aspects of the conservative movement. But I got to tell you, if you're going to give him hell for certain things, you got to give him kudos for other things. And I say, Governor Bill Lee, congratulations. Well done, sir. You showed how you act decisively, you make the call, you get your legislature back into special session, you make these things happen quickly, efficiently, and you get the heck out of Dodge, which is exactly what the General Assembly has done, and kudos to those guys as well. As they passed redrawn district lines very quickly, it takes a minimum of 3 days to have a special session, and that's exactly what it took this week in special. So we're excited to talk to Johnny Garrett about that. Hey, RJ, I've lost hey, Kirby, have you knocked off is my remote kit still on? Because it seems like I've lost I guess Kirby's not listening over there. That's okay. Hey, well, I'll find it in a moment. I think I'm offline, so you'll have to alert me, RJ, as to whether or not we've got Johnny on the line.
We have Johnny on the line right now.
Oh, you do? Okay, very good. Because I think I've been pulled offline for some reason or another. But we've got Johnny Garrett, Representative Johnny Garrett, joining the show. Obviously, a good friend of the show, and it's always good to catch up with Johnny. What is going on, my friend? You doing all right?
Doing fantastic. How about you?
I'm well. Johnny,
Good.
I said something earlier in the week. You and I did not speak, but I saw certain aspects of what was going on. And, anytime you draw district lines, anytime you do things like this, you're going to have people that hate it, and the Democrats obviously hated it. And I get it. I mean, I understand why their emotions are what they are, because you're in the super minority and you don't get to decide how these things happen, and so they don't like it very much and they act like children. But I said, of the Republicans, of the adults in the room that have some decision-making authority, if anybody had the right to be a little annoyed or miffed about what was going on, it would be Johnny Garrett, because, you announced you were running in the 6th. The 6th comprised most of your stomping ground in Sumner County. You've been talking to the folks in those communities for a long time now, and now things have changed. The lines have been redrawn. And if anybody had a right to hold up their hand and say, "Hey, what are we doing here, guys?" it would have been you. But to your credit, and I just want to lavish a little praise on you for a minute. To your credit, you said, "Guys, The bigger picture here is that we need control of the House of Representatives in Washington, D.C. for the next 2 years. And if this is how we get it, then I'm okay with it. Let's go. Let's make it happen. And I say congratulations to you.
Well, thank you very much. I was one of the first members of the General Assembly to call for the special session because as soon as I saw the case in Louisiana from our Supreme Court, I said we can provide President Trump with another Republican seat to make sure we can enshrine the majority in D.C. And that's exactly what we did. And that's important, more important than one person, more important than one district, because this is something that's going to benefit not only, Matt, our Tennesseans, but the country as a whole if we can prevent Hakeem Jeffries from becoming the Speaker of the House. Can you imagine the political warfare that he likes to say stirred up for what you just witnessed when we gabbled out a special session yesterday, what these crazy woke Democrats did on that floor? It was absolutely crazy, unbecoming.
How long have you been in the legislature?
This is my 8th year. I'm finishing up my 4th term.
Have you ever seen anything like that, Johnny?
I have never. I mean, I asked a lady that worked there for a long time when we expelled Pearson and Jones if they had seen anything like that. And compared to what it was yesterday, what the Tennessee 3 did 2 years ago, whenever it was nothing compared to what the Democrats pulled off yesterday. With the noisemakers, with the whistles. One of them had a whistle almost a foot from my ear as I was sitting in my desk, and they were blocking my ability to vote for these bills. We couldn't even hear what was going on. Never in my life have I seen people act like a child, like the Democrats did yesterday.
I mean,
we're winning.
That's
winning.
right.
They can't stand it.
That's right. Well, and I give them the grace I'll finish what I'm saying because I don't think they deserve any because of the way that they acted. But I would give them the grace to be upset. I would, and y'all did that. And here's something that I would note. And Jack Johnson, Senate Majority Leader Jack Johnson, mentioned this yesterday. And I believe y'all did the same thing in the House, if I'm not mistaken, Johnny. You correct me if I'm wrong. You gave them the opportunity to take to the floor and say what they needed to say. And some of it was the most disgusting, disturbing, awful types of language and accusations that you can imagine. But y'all allowed them to speak because and you didn't have to do that. You could have prevented them from talking, but you gave them that opportunity, and yet still they acted like children.
Absolutely. They get every opportunity they want, but they don't take it. Why? Because they're not talking to their districts. They're not talking to the people that they represent. They're not pushing their policies. They are looking to their Twitter feed, to their Facebook feed, to people in New York, in California, Wisconsin, those places that want to destroy America. That is who they're talking to. They're not talking to Tennesseans because Tennesseans know Tennesseans a red conservative state. And that was the point of the special session. That was the point of why President Trump needs the majority in the House so we can continue to promote, pass the America First agenda. And we wouldn't be able to do that if we lose the majority in the House. All they're going to do is investigate Trump. They'll have impeachment hearings. It'll be almost like the performative show that these Democrats put on yesterday. That's what they could turn in our House of Representatives in D.C. And the more Tennessee that we can put in D.C. with the new congressional district, the better off America will be.
Well, and that leads me directly to the drawing of the lines. And I just, I have to ask you the question. I mean, obviously it might confuse some of your constituents. It might confuse some of your friends and your neighbors because the lines have impacted 6 versus 7 versus some of the other districts. And what have you been telling people with regard to some of the changes in your neck of the woods?
Oh, look, we're full steam ahead. Whatever these boundaries are, we got in this to make sure we support President Trump, support his agenda, to put a little Tennessee in D.C. We did that with special session, and we're going to do that, continuing to elect strong warriors for President Trump, and I'm ready to be that person from the 6th district. So we are full steam ahead.
Well, and that's great news. I mean, so from a campaign perspective, you're blowing it. I mean, you're still in the 6th, right?
That's right. That's right.
Okay. And so you're blowing and going. You're going to speak to all of those folks, and you're going to make sure that you get the message out. And what is the message to the voters for the next the next couple of years. I mean, I think you've said it plainly and you've said it well, Johnny. If the Democrats take over, it's just going to be an impeach fest, right? I mean, we'll see nothing done for the people of Tennessee and nothing done for the people of the United States of America over the next 2 years.
America will stall. No more where we can get no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, to continue to make sure we put more money back in Americans' pockets, to even address the wild spending that we have in D.C., that we have absolutely no budget, and we haven't had a budget in years. All these big problems that President Trump has said he's going to tackle will not be able to do it because the Democrats focus on how they can be effective on Twitter rather than how they can be effective back home. That's what's at stake. That's what's at stake in the 6th district. That's what's at stake in Tennessee. We can't even pass the SAVE Act to make sure Americans elect Americans. We need serious people. We need serious people in D.C., and we have to have more of what we have right here in Tennessee and D.C., and that's what this is all about. That's what this campaign is going to be all about. That's what it's been about from day one.
For those that don't know, Representative Garrett's also a part of the leadership team in the House of Representatives, and I had an opportunity to speak to the Speaker, and he feels very confident, and I'm curious your thoughts, Johnny, about getting positive results on the legal track. I mean, I think all of you were aware that the Democrats have no other refuge than to run to court over what is clearly your defined constitutional responsibility to be able to redraw these district lines. And by the way, before I get to that question, kudos to y'all for recognizing the necessity to repeal the 1970s era legislation prior to doing anything else, because you did want to make sure that everything that you did would survive any sort of legal challenge. But how comfortable are you that this will survive these legal challenges in a time frame consistent with getting to the polls in August?
Well, I'm telling you, I'm comfortable with Attorney General Scarametti. He is a genius. He's been defending our state. He's been a warrior for the conservative cause. So, I'm going to trust their office to put up a great defense to all the lawsuits. And you're right, man. We knew. I'm surprised. I don't think the lawsuits are probably finished yet. There's probably more to be filed. I think there's at least 2. There may be 3 that are filed. That's all they can do. So I feel confident that the maps will hold. I feel confident in the ability for us to defend our positions of why this was done and how it was done. Speaker Sexton and Lieutenant Governor McNally did a fantastic job with pulling off a special session in 3 days, successfully pushing through these maps that give us 9 Republicans in our congressional delegation. And that's what I believe I'm most proud of, and I do believe that it'll hold up in court.
Do you think, and I understand, as we talked about this yesterday, there were some listeners that wondered why the likes of Representative Pearson and Representative Jones, specifically those 2, were not arrested. And, my response was basically, one, it's what they wanted. They wanted to be a spectacle. Right. Yeah. They
want the video of them in handcuffs being dragged out of the house, the very people's house that they spit on, that they decimate, that they disrespect daily. They want that video because why? They're not representing their districts. Mm-hmm. They're not talking to people back home. They are looking at themselves on their phones through videos and pushing that out to folks in California, to folks in New York, to the Gavin Newsoms of the world, to the Mondamis of the world, to the Freddie O'Connells of the world. That's what their audience is, not Tennesseans, and certainly, Matt, not their districts.
Well, I know it is your hope by the time that the General Assembly convenes in the next regular session that you'll be taking the oath and being as a member of the House of Representatives in Washington. I know that's your hope. However, I will ask you this: do you also hope that leadership does their due diligence and make sure that punishments are meted out for some of the activity in the special? I don't think that Cameron and the leadership team down there in the House is going to forget the rule-breaking antics that occurred yesterday and the day before.
Well, let me tell you, I mean, I was there when Speaker Sexton became Speaker, and he has been, in my belief, the best speaker that we've had in the history of Tennessee. He doesn't mess around. He's a political and a policy genius, and he doesn't take this lightly. He doesn't take the disrespect that those members have shown to those House members. And I'm going to be honest with you, if one of us acted a fool like they did, he would be just as mad as us and expect punishment from us. So this isn't a Republican or Democrat thing. He is the Speaker of the House, and he's the Speaker for everybody. And these two fellows spit on every single Tennessean by their actions in the people's house, and they absolutely love it. So, yes, I do think if I know Speaker Sexton, he's already coming up with a plan on how to deal with those two, for sure.
And I imagine that you are, and you just indicated it moments ago, you're blowing and going. You're moving forward with the new district lines. You're getting out and meeting the people. A lot of pancake breakfast to get to, Johnny. You're going to put on some weight. You know that, right?
That's right. Exercise every day, whatever that means.
I'm
looking forward to those pancake breakfasts where you talk to Tennesseans, where you hear about what's important to them, what they expect from their congressman. That's the most fun about this whole process, is meeting Tennesseans from everywhere. It's been a lot of fun, and I continue to look forward to the campaign trail.
There's Representative Johnny Garrett. Johnny, thank you for being with us. Have a wonderful weekend.
My
Have a
pleasure.
wonderful and we'll talk again very soon. Obviously, we'll see you from time to time as you campaign all across District Number 6. We appreciate your time today. There he is. There's Johnny Garrett joining us for a few moments. It is 23 after the hour, almost 24 past the hour, running a bit late. Thank you, RJ, for indulging me. We'll be back in a moment on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You out? Hold on a second. I got you. Hey, friends, let's talk for a moment about your home, right? I mean, your house, we talk about it being the foundation of the family. Well, the foundation of your house really supports that foundation that is such an integral part of your family and your family unit. Homeowners try to pretend that they don't notice some of the warning signs when it comes to the foundation of their home. Well, I want you to allow the local experts at USS to get to it. No obligation to you. They did this for me, and they'll do it for you, right? They come out to your house. They check the entire house out, a foundation and otherwise, and make sure that everything is as it should be. And if you're good, they'll give you the thumbs up. I was good. They told me, hey, you're A-OK, Murphy. For a house built in 1960, you're looking great. Is your house looking great? They've been trusted in Tennessee since 1994. That's over 30 years and over 30,000 satisfied local customers, and you could be the next one. They know how to read the story, right? The cracks that tell the story, and USS is the best at reading those cracks and figuring out what's going on with your home and how to solve it as inexpensively as possible. Book your free home inspection today at USSTN.com. That's USSTN.com for our friends at USS. Indeed, that's Ken Weaver. He's coming up in less than 2 minutes with those headlines, and we've got another 30 to go after that. We're at Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. We're winding it down. But these guys are going to be here for you for all of your turf and landscape needs. I mean, y'all, if you know, you already know. But if you don't know, you need to get here and get in the know. And that's Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. They're good people. They're local. They believe in what they do. They are experts at what they do. Any questions that you have about your landscaping, your lawn, your turf, whatever, they can answer those questions for you easily at Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply, and we love those guys. A new rule published yesterday by the U.S. Department of Agriculture mandates that retailers accept SNAP provide healthier food choices. This has been a long time coming, and it's been a long burr in my saddle that I want to talk about. Retailers across, and actually relates to a story that we alluded to earlier today regarding my grandpa, because I remember this story, and I didn't really understand the implications at the time because we were, I was young. I don't remember how old, maybe 8 or 9. I don't remember because, and I know my brother Brian listens to the show with a fair amount of regularity. Brian, if you're listening, if you remember the time frame here, but I remember Mama had her brain surgery, and we were living down the road from my grandparents, and you know, we lived in a small community. McDuffie County was a small county. Thompson, Thomson, no P in Thompson, is a small town, right? So, you know, the community was aware of Mama's illness, aware of her brain surgery, and, you know, generally speaking, I think there was an awareness that the GPs, the grandparents, were kind of taking care of us. And I remember going home from school one day with a note that my teacher had given me. I think it was pinned to me. I mean, that's literally, you know, how old I was. So the note, you know, they pin you the note on your person and then send you on home so that Mama, or in this case Grandma, sees the note. I'll tell you what happened, what was on that note, what happened after that note got to my grandparents' house, and how that relates to the U.S. Department of Agriculture food stamp program. I'll tell you all of those things next on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I mean, you hear the forecast there. The forecast is that it's going to continue to get warmer and warmer and warmer until it's summertime and it's hot as blue blazes. Well, when that comes and your AC goes out, what do? Right? I would encourage you to go ahead and get ahead of this thing and get a maintenance call scheduled from Jeff Eddy and Efficient Heating and Cooling. It's the simplest way to head off costly repairs down the road and untimely breakdowns. That's what it's all about, folks. You don't want in the heat of the summer to break down and have to call Jeff then. Now, they get out jiffy quick. They make sure that they get out as quickly as possible. But the fact of the matter is that when that happens, oftentimes it's a more expensive situation. Right now, the maintenance call to your home in their service area is less than $125. I mean, that's the max cap. Oftentimes, it's much less than $125. But $125 is the most that you'll pay for a maintenance call, and you get the maintenance guarantee. What does that mean? That means that if they have to come back for any reason during the same season, the AC season, they're going to waive the service fee because they don't think you should have to pay for that twice. That's what it's all about. Jeff Eddy keeps his overhead down. He keeps his invoices small. He understands you're a baller on a budget, and he wants to charge you the least amount to get you back up and running as possible. Now, when it comes time, they're an Elite Pro partner with Ream. They can help you out there, too. 615-784-4424, 784-4424, or online at efficienthvac.net. That's efficienthvac.net. Hey, folks, Matt Murphy for Genesis Diamonds. Last-minute shoppers, let me talk to you for a minute because I understand that a lot of us guys, we wait until the last minute, especially fellas who are charged with the duty of handling Mother's Day. Now, if you've got a mama in your life and you've not taken care of this already, shame, shame, shame on you. But if you're a dad to youngsters and you're responsible for making sure mama is happy on Mother's Day, well, if you've not been to Genesis Diamonds, then shame on you too. Genesis Diamonds has the solution for you. All it takes is a visit tomorrow to Genesis Diamonds because they understand that you are last-minute guys. Don't worry. They've got you covered with the half-price vault. The half-price vault is a special collection of exquisite jewelry at an incredible 50% off. That's right, half price at Genesis Diamonds. It is the ultimate way to show her how much she means to you. And this year, they go all out with brand new creations from their exclusive designers. You have to see it to understand it. Imagine her lighting up with a diamond bracelet on her wrist, a beautiful pair of sparkling diamond earrings on her ears, or a stunning colored gemstone pendant, all from Genesis Diamonds. This Mother's Day, go the extra mile at Genesis Diamonds. Green Hills and Cool Springs open tomorrow. Tell them Matt Murphy sent you to Genesis Diamonds. Super Talk 99.7 WTN winding down a Friday edition from Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. Don't forget about the 7 separate locations of Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. They want to see you in one of these locations for any and all of your landscaping needs. I mean, it's growing season, it's grass season, and they want to see you at Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. We're in the Murphreesboro location, but they're near you, somewhere near you. They're Franklin, Hendersonville, Mount Juliet, off the top of my head, Nashville, Belmead, or Bellevue, I should say. And Murphreesboro? I think I mentioned Murphreesboro. Hendersonville, maybe. Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply, DickensSupply.com. Friends, I owe 7381 a sincere apology. 7381 asked me earlier today, Johnny Garrett, I previewed that Johnny Garrett would be on the show. And 7381, and you got you newbies in the audience. If you hit us up on social media on our super text line, if you hit me up on social media and tell me your name, I'll say your name. And I'm at Matt Murphy Show. You can follow me on the X machine. I'm meaner there than I am here, at Matt Murphy Show. But if you hit us up on the Super Text line, oftentimes if you don't offer your name, then we'll designate you by the last four digits of your telephone number, which seems a good way to do it. And I think all of us on the radio station do it in that fashion because it's just easier that way. But 7381 wrote in earlier and asked if I would ask Johnny Garrett about HB 1971. HB 1971, there was a law passed in 2018 in the state of Tennessee. It was before I got here, that made it easier for residents of the state to sue the state for unconstitutional laws. In other words, if something was passed and you believed it to be unconstitutional, it gave an easier avenue for you to file suit against that, and you did not have to present any harm before prior suit. So 1971 is essentially revising and, in a way, repealing that bill or that law that passed in 2018. And it would make it harder for people to sue the state over what they believe to be unconstitutional ordinances, unconstitutional laws passed by the General Assembly. That's the upshot of 1971. The justification, I've spoken to Jack Johnson about it. I've talked to Cameron about it. I've talked to a lot of different lawmakers about it. The justification is that, number one, Tennessee was the only state to make it this easy. Number two, a lot of out-of-state corporations and other organizations, nonprofits and the like, were coming into the state of Tennessee and clogging up the judicial system by what they consider to be frivolous lawsuits. You know, my perspective has been, if it's harder, it's harder. The people should have the right to sue if they believe that unconstitutional acts have been passed by the legislative process. Anyway, apparently Johnny Garrett was one of the sponsors of HB 1971, and he eventually voted against it, and that is according to 7381. But that is beside the point. The point is this. 7381 asked me to ask Johnny about this, and I was so focused on talking about the current special session, Johnny's run for the 6th Congressional District, that after telling 7381 that I would, in fact, ask him that question, I did not. I failed to do so. I would submit to you that it was a failure and it was a mistake. It was not a lie, because 7381 said, hey, you lied to me. In my defense, I had a lot going on. But, yes, I certainly failed you in not asking that question, and I apologize for that. I would not call it a lie. It was a slip of the mind, and here's what I will do to make it up to you. One, publicly apologize. Number two, I will say that the next time that we have Johnny on, I will make a note that I will specifically ask him about that legislation. I apologize once again. 615-737-9986 if you want to get in here in the last portions of the show. I promised I would tell this real quick story. So on SNAP benefits, now this isn't specifically about SNAP, but it is about free and reduced lunch. So my brother says he's interested in the latter portion of this story. So I think Brian had gone to live with my dad at this time, and so I'm not really sure how old I was. But I remember going home with a note, and I really didn't understand what the note was. And my memory is sketchy because I didn't understand it. But what I took away from it was this, that the note was offering us free and reduced lunch, or a free lunch. Because, look, my grandfather was a middle-class mechanic. He worked his ass off every day of his life that I knew him. And, you know, he would work from, sun up to sundown trying to provide for his family. And I don't know that it was ever a question that he would be there for us. My dad had left, and my mama was very sick and, could not work, obviously. And she was trying to overcome her brain tumor and her brain surgery. And in the midst of that, I was given a note, and I assume a lot of kids received the note, that was an application for free lunch at school. And I remember my grandmother opening it up and reading it, and she set it on the counter. And, she made some reference to me about free lunch or whatever. And then I remember my grandpa coming home, and I was in the house somewhere, and he washed up outside, came inside, and I happened to be coming into the little kitchen area when he picked up the note and he looked at the note and he read it, and it was the offer, the opportunity for free and reduced lunch. And he said, and I remember this clearly, he said, "I'll be damned if anybody else is going to feed my kids." And he balled the note up and he threw it away. And that was the end of that story. I'll be damned if anyone else is going to feed my kids. And I did not understand the significance of it. I didn't understand really what was going on at the time, but I do now. And I believe that we have lost something if we lose that spirit in America. Programs like free and reduced lunch should be there for those who desperately and truly need them. But it should be a last resort option. And my grandfather was determined that he was going to do the work necessary to feed his own family, and he wasn't going to allow or depend on others to do it for him. And he did that all of his work in life. There was never a time that I remember that Pa did not provide for me if he was at all able to do so, even in my adult life. My brother confirmed. My brother said he remembers the story now too. That he was like, "No, we're not doing any of that." You know what? And let me tell you something. We were poor enough and my mom was disabled. All right. I mean, we qualified through Mama, but my grandfather was having none of it because he believed in providing for our own family. And we weren't perfect, and no family is. But I expressed that story, number one, because I'm thinking about my grandpa, because this would have been his 97th birthday. But number two, a lot of America has lost that attitude that we are responsible for ourselves, that we are responsible for our families, that others, through taxation, they owe us nothing, and that taxation in that spirit is, in fact, theft when it is designed to take from one hardworking family and grant to another that perhaps do not have that same work ethic or that same spirit, that can-do attitude of no. It was foreign to my grandfather, the idea that he would bend the knee and bow before others and beg them for something that he could do for himself. And if that meant that he was out working 14 hours a day, he's out working 14 hours a day. That's fine. He'll take care of it to take care of his family, to take care of my brother, my sister, myself, to take care of my grandmother, and to take care of my mother. Well, with all that in mind, there's a new rule that was published by the U.S. Department of Agriculture mandating that retailers that accept SNAP benefits — we have way too many people on SNAP in this country. Once again, no one is suggesting that we should not have a safety net through government to provide for the least of these that cannot provide for themselves. Obviously, that should be there. But we have allowed this program to expand far beyond its stated purpose and far beyond those that actually truly need it. Retailers across the country are expected to adhere to stocking standards that mandate that they can carry 7 variety of items across 4 food categories of staple foods: protein, grain, dairy, fruit, and veggie. All right, so when I was a kid, if you had, food, we called them food stamps back in the day, right? I mean, they were literal. I mean, they were in a book. And they were stamps, and you'd pull them out, and they served as money, monetary exchange. Now no, we can't be at all. We need more shame in our society, generally speaking. You know what shame is, right? If you're experiencing a sense of shame, that is your conscience telling you that something in your life is wrong. That is, you want me to say it again? That is your conscience. That is your spirit. That call it what you will. Call it your conscience. Call it God. Call it a higher authority. Whatever. That is, you're being told that there's something in your life that is wrong that needs to change. Now, sometimes people feel ashamed because of circumstances that are beyond their control, and I wouldn't wish that on them. Because if something happens to you that is truly beyond your control, then obviously you had, by definition, no control over it. But sadly, far too few people feel a sense of shame when they rightly should. And we as a society have, for some reason, decided that we're going to do everything that we possibly can to shield them from the shame that they ought to be feeling. If you are an able-bodied grown-up, right, and you find yourself in a position long-term, not short-term, long-term, to ask the government to help you provide for your family, then I would suggest to you that maybe you should be a little ashamed. Now, I wouldn't suggest that we're going to take that away from you or take that away from your kids, but I would tell you that I've felt shame in my life, haven't you? And if you use that shame, the reason I say we need more of it, if you use that shame in the right fashion, you damn well don't want to feel it again. And so you make the correct decisions and you course correct in a way that's going to prevent you from being in that situation again. That's called learning. That's called growing. And people that are handed reasons not to feel shame or shielded from it, they don't grow. So if there's no shame involved in other people having to take care of your family, if there's no shame involved in other people having to paying for food, this is not a hard-hearted approach. I want these people to grow and be able to take care of themselves because you know what feels great? Taking care of yourself. You know what feels awesome? Feeding your own family. You know what feels wonderful? That feeling that I have in me, knowing that my grandfather, I watched many days where my grandfather was beat, man, and he worked, well, I mean, he like actively worked well into his 60s, almost 70, and we're talking about heavy equipment mechanic, right? Bulldozers and big old tractors and earth-moving equipment and logging equipment. And he worked, I would say he worked certainly into his late 60s, if not 70 years old. But he did so because he had pride, and he wanted to take care of himself and take care of his own family. And we've kind of lost that. Just to put a bow on it, the new guidelines go into effect in the fall, and it's a shame, no pun intended, that we have to go over the providers of the food, because nowadays, I mean, you can get EBT in convenience stores. Convenience stores should not be allowed to accept EBT. There's nothing good coming out of that convenience store. There's nothing right in that situation. But the change will double the requirement of available food, emphasize whole foods, and emphasize those necessities that would be a healthier option in the event that you have to ask others to provide for you and or your family. It is 8 until the top of the hour. We're going to wrap things up in just a moment and call it a week on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. How are you feeling? Are you feeling pretty good? You feel like you're a go-getter, everything's A-okay? Do you know if everything's A-okay? Because here's the reality, and I'm not here to freak you out, but the reality is that things might be going on within your body that you don't know about. Before you become symptomatic, what about an incredible opportunity for you to check out that body through Kraft Body Scan? Kraft Body Scan is all about knowing versus not knowing. And this stuck with me, which is why I decided to get a full body scan, because I'm a little bit of a hypochondriac anyway. And I got the A-OK, I got the thumbs up, which is awesome. But here's the deal. I want you to get the thumbs up too, and most of you will. But if you do a scan with Kraft Body Scan and they notice something, they're noticing it early. So the likelihood of you catching it early, the likelihood of you getting something done about it before you become symptomatic, that just exponentially improves the odds of you being able to overcome that challenge. And that's what it's all about at Kraft Body Scan, which is why they're offering their $99 scan. It's a $2,500 value for your couple's heart and lung scans. And for you and the loved ones, you can get it for $99. It's fast, it's easy, and it can give you true peace of mind. Go to togetherwescan.com and type in MATT50 in the promo code. Togetherwescan.com, MATT50, or call 615-436-1000. 615-436-1000 for our friends at Kraft Body Scan, online at togetherwescan.com. All right, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We are winding it down very, very close to Mark Levin at the top of the hour. Well, ABC News, I suppose, at the top of the hour. Then Mark Levin right after that, and we're going to call it a weekend. But in the spirit of my grandpa, several of you who have listened for a long time and have heard these stories before have asked me to tell this story, and I have to tell an abbreviated version of it. I was in college. And I was in a relationship at the time, not my beautiful wife, but in a different relationship at the time. And my significant other had a cat. And I didn't like the cat very much. The cat was named Othello. And Othello would go out at night and stay out catting, as they do, all night, and then come back the next day. We had a neighbor. We didn't know the neighbor very well. They had two large dogs in their backyard. There was one single tree in the backyard, long, just a huge tree. No branches up the first 30 feet of the tree, and then it would branch out. It was just a huge oak tree that had been stripped on the bottom of the tree. One morning I get up. We didn't have air conditioning, so we had the windows open, and nature calls. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I am doing my business, and I'm kind of looking out the window, and I hear out in the distance, I hear this meow, and I look up outside, and in the next door neighbor's yard, up about 40 feet in that tree is the cat. And underneath the tree are their two dogs, and they're just waiting on the cat. And so I did what any college student would do. I went back to bed because screw that cat. So I get up. The cat's still up there. I go to class. I come back that evening, and the cat is still in the tree. And I don't know what to do. And so I called my grandpa, and I asked my grandpa what I should do. And my grandfather listened to the entire story, which was much longer than the one I just told you. And my grandfather said, "Let me ask you a question." And I said, "Yes, sir." And he said, "Have you ever seen a cat skeleton in a tree?" I said, "No, sir." He said, "It'll get down." A day later, that cat showed up on my front porch, beat to hell. But it was okay. Cat got down. I've never forgotten that story. And I don't think you will either. You've never seen a cat skeleton in a tree. Hey, have a wonderful weekend. I've enjoyed it. I hope you have as well. We'll be back Monday. Until then, so long, everybody. Sorry I ran a little long on you.